Bago po tayo magsimula, may I call on Representative Sandra Irigel to lead us in prayer.
Let us put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, God of all creation, we come before you today to give you honor and praise. You are worthy above all else. You are the source of all that is good. You are the source of all our blessings. Thank you for this wonderful morning, an opportunity that we have been given today to gather together and discuss what had been laid down before us. We ask for your hand of blessing on this meeting. We ask that you would guide and direct our meeting so that it will be full of wisdom, productivity, and respect for one another. Thank you for helping us to accomplish our work and our goals this day. All this we ask in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
This meeting is now called to order.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Kong Jun.
I move to dispense with the calling of the roll. I so move.
Second.
There's a motion to dispense the calling of the roll. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. I would like to recognize first the presence of our members. Representative Rimpi Bondoc, Representative Teddy Haresco, Representative Jose Tejada, Representative Vicente Veloso, Representative Noel Villanueva, Representative J.J. Suarez, Representative Cruz Rodriguez, Representative Bernardita Ramos, Representative Pablo Ortega, Representative Alan Dujali, Representative Sandra Irigel, Representative June Gato, Representative Hector Sanchez, Representative Mickey Villago, okay, that's all for now. May I ask ComSec, Ma'am Sylvia, to please recognize the resource persons present today. Ma'am Sylvia. Okay, for our resource persons, we have from the DOH, Mr. Roderick Napulan. We also have RD Valeriano Lopez, RD from Region 3 Cesar Casion, Dr. Evelyn David. We also have Dr. Remia Makanaynay from Region 6, Dr. Cheryl Balane, the Chief Regulation Licensing Enforcement Division. We have Engineer Ray Santelia from Region 12 and Ms. Maita Ortega from Region 5. We also have represent from the DND, Ms. Natalie Labang, of course, from the DILG. We have USEC RJ Echeverry. We have ASEC Rodolfo Santos and Director Clifford Cyril Reveral from the DSWD. From the Department of Finance, we have Ms. Teresa Mendoza. I'd like to greet also or recognize Representative Noel Villanueva. From Quezon Medical Center, we have Dr. Rolando sorry guys, Kong Joet Garcia, our Vice Chair, is with us. Also, I've seen Kong Pingping Tejada. Okay, that's all. Um, Again, magandang umaga pong muli sa inyong lahat. And welcome to the third meeting of the Committee on Health for this week. I would like to thank you most sincerely for diligently attending our meetings, my distinguished colleagues and our friends, and yung ating mga suke from the health NGOs and stakeholders, our fellow public servants from government agencies, especially the Department of Health. Our agenda today is very relevant to the House bills we have discussed in previous meetings, the Health Security Act, the proposed establishment of Public Health Emergency Council, the CDC, the Virology Institute, and the Medical Reserve Corps. House Bill number 6995, or the Health Procurement and Stockpiling Act, which was filed by this representation, aims to promote public health and safety by preventing and controlling the spread of diseases and other health hazards through the stockpiling of essential and critical drugs and medicines, vaccines, devices, and materials to effectively and swiftly confront the devastating consequences of public health emergencies. The chair believes that a thorough discussion on the matter would help the committee harmonize the various pieces of legislation that the Committee on Health is tasked to craft, borne by devastating impact of the COVID-19 pandemic that has besieged our nation, and with the end in view of strengthening the public health emergency preparedness. I will propound on the subject bill before us today shortly as author thereof. It shall be first in our agenda with the indulgence of our members and authors. Thereafter, the committee will consider various local bills. So I would like to turn over the chairmanship to our vice chair, Representative Joet Garcia, who will be our presiding officer for the hearing of this national bill. Kong Joet.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So good morning to good morning to everyone. Based on what our chairperson mentioned earlier, we will now be taking up first the bill with regards to stockpiling, which is House Bill number 6995. And I'd like to recognize our chairperson, Honorable Helen for her sponsorship remarks.
Thank you, Chair. Again, good morning. It is my honor to sponsor House Bill 6995, otherwise known as the Health Procurement and the Stockpiling Act. We have the explanatory note of the bill, which fully explains the rationale for the proposal, but allow me to further articulate on this matter. There are basically two components of this measure, procurement and stockpiling. My proposal is to create under the DOH a Health Procurement and Stockpiling Bureau, which will take over the functions of the existing procurement service of the department. Ayan po yung procurement side. The other side is the stockpiling. I believe this is human nature that is also shared by a few species like ants. Naalala ko po nung bata ako, kapag nakakakita ako ng langgam na may dala-dala na pagkain at yan ay ginagawa nila, nag-iimpok sila, naghahakot ng kung ano-anong pagkain kapag tag-araw. Yun pala, kaya sila nagtatambak ng makakain para sa pagdating ng tag-ulan. And we have seen that. As a knee-jerk response during day one of the imposition of quarantine or ECQ in the country. Given the spread of COVID-19, it is not surprising to see how many people, especially those who have purchasing capacity, have stockpiled and still even now stocking their pantries and closets with foods, medicines, vitamins, surgical masks, alcohol, hand sanitizers, among other critical items. We know very well what happened to the supply chain because of this. Disruption has resulted in shortages of pharmaceutical and grocery items. In fact, as early as March, medical groups have cited the lack of PPEs as a reason for death of some doctors and other medical frontliners. Sometime in April, Health Secretary Francisco Duque III admitted that those health professionals who have died while battling the pandemic was due to lack of protective gear available. Other than that, some of the patients were dishonest about their condition. This bill simply aims to solve problem of access to critical supplies in times of public health emergencies by improving our procurement system and stockpiling of critical and strategic supplies of drugs and medicines, vaccines, devices, and materials. Sana po hindi tayo maging reactive sa mga susunod na mangyari ulit ang ganitong krisis sa bansa, and we can do that by proactively enacting this proposal into law. I am counting on everyone's support for the speedy and favorable consideration of this important piece of legislation. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Tan, for the sponsorship remarks. And to proceed with deliberation of the said measure, may we call on our resource persons to comment. May we start with the Department of Health. Sino po yung representative natin from the Department of Health?
Yeah. Good morning po, Madam Chair. Yes po. I'm Director Valdez po of the Procurement Service of the Department of Health. So given po our experience with COVID-19, we don't have any objections po on the bill that is being proposed. Except that in the functions, it will also absorb another service in the Department of Health, the supply chain management service. So yun lang po yung major consideration that has to be considered, and the other one is given maybe enough budget and manpower complement, we will be able to surmount some of the problems that we've experienced with COVID-19. Of course, we know that health commodities also has shelf life, so that has to be tackled as well. So it may be if this bill will be approved, then it will be in the IRR or even in the standard operating procedures, all this can be addressed po. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Director Valdez. May we call on, is it DBM?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes, please proceed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm Jaina Beria, sir. We're the one handling the DOH under the Operations Bureau of the DBM. Sir, actually, sir, we support the proposed legislative measures, but then we would just like to be clarified on the sources of the stockpiling fund. Does it follow that the sources would be the donations and the fundraising activities that will be done by DOH? And then, sir, we would like also to clarify whether what will be the distinction of those activities that will be funded from the appropriation and those from the stockpiling fund. That's all, sir.
Thank you, Congresswoman Tan. Chair Helen, would you like to go through the various resource persons' comments first before we answer them all together?
Yes, Mr. Chair. If we can go through with all the resource persons first.
Okay. So maybe next, may we listen to the comment of the Department of Finance?
Good morning, Chair. This is Johanna Hortinella from the Department of Finance.
Yes,
with
please proceed.
regards to with regards to this bill, I think we defer to the DBM on their position on this bill.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Would the DILG have any comments?
Good morning, Mr. Chair.
Good morning.
Let please allow me to read well the position paper prepared by the department, if you may.
Yes, please proceed.
Thank you. It is undeniable that the COVID-19 pandemic has greatly caused and is continuing to cause loss of lives. As such, those service workers at the forefront of the relentless battle against this deadly virus, such as healthcare workers, gasoline station staff, military and police officer, bank employees, courier and delivery personnel, as well as sanitation workers, among others, who are experiencing the most difficulty by putting their own lives at risk to protect and save others. Sadly, this is due to the fact that the country lacks access to critical drugs and medicines and vaccines and material in times of public health and emergencies. In that regard, this level supports the subject House Bill, which seeks to ensure the prevention of the spread of diseases and other health hazards through the stockpiling of essential and critical drugs and medicines, vaccines, devices, and materials to effectively and swiftly confront the devastating consequences of public health emergencies. Particularly, it proposes to create a health procurement and stockpiling bureau under the Department of Health, which shall serve as the principal agency mandated to undertake a transparent, fair, proactive, innovative procurement services for the DOH to stockpile, conserve, and facilitate the release of adequate amounts of potentially life-saving pharmaceutical, vaccine, devices, and materials in times of public health emergency. Further, the subject legislative measure is in line with the policies enshrined in Sections 11 and 12, Article 13 of the 1987 Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. Notwithstanding the foregoing, we defer to the comments and recommendations of the Department of Health, DBM, and the Procurement Board, Philippine Procurement Board. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Yusek Echeverry. May we now listen to the comments of DSWD?
Good morning, Mr. Chair, and to all honorable members of Congress present in the meeting. The DSWD conveys its support to the enactment of this House Bill into law because it will provide readily available supplies, medical supplies, devices, among others, for disaster-affected families during times of disasters or calamities, or even during a pandemic. So we strongly support the establishment of institutional mechanisms where DSWD and other concerned agencies will collaborate with the OH to ensure that we are able to respond immediately and provide the necessary assistance or health devices, medicines to disaster-affected families.
Thank you. May we now listen to the Philippine Council for Health Research and Development, Ms. Sam Piamonte. Nandiyan ba si Ms. Sam? So if not here, may we proceed to the Philippine International Trading Corporation, PITC.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm attorney Mark Ryan, representative for Philippine International Trading Corporation. We would like to, I'm here with my team, and we would like to read first our position on House Bill 6995, if we may. So the Philippine International Trading Corporation fully supports House Bill 6995. With the full support and cooperation of the DOH, PITC is confident that counter trade and industrial cooperation will now be made an integral part of foreign procurement or importation of critical drugs and medicines, vaccines, devices, and materials needed for public health. Through this House Bill, PITC foresees the incremental benefits that will result from the integration of counter trade and industrial cooperation for all DOH importations valued at no less than $1 million in the month. EITC also advocates the establishment of local manufacturing for critical and strategic drugs, medicines, and even medical supplies. There is clearly a need to establish Philippine manufacturing capabilities of these items to assure that the needs of the healthcare sector will be supplied in the shortest time. Relying on foreign sources is not always a viable option, as most foreign governments will prioritize the needs of its citizenry. Aside from the Philippine demand, there is also an export opportunity that the local companies can exploit to expand manufacturing capacities. In order to establish a Philippine manufacturing capability, EITC proposes the implementation of the Industrial Collaboration Program, or ICP. ICP is a program that utilizes government procurement of imported goods and equipment to gain headway in establishing in-country manufacturing capability of what used to be completely imported goods. The current state of the counter-trade program is in need for enabling legislation that will adopt the practice of counter-trade industrial cooperation whenever agencies such as the DOH undertakes substantial importations that require huge foreign exchange outlay for the government. We urge the integration of the ICP and counter-trade as a requirement to the government, which will be a catalyst that will spur establishment of local industries, manufacturing drugs, medicines, medical equipment, and supplies. Thank you.
Thank you. May we now call the Bureau of Customs for their comments.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
So far, the Bureau of Customs interposes no objection on the bill. My apologies, but we just received the notice yesterday, and we do not have the data at the moment. But we propose to just furnish the committee of the Bureau's comment afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, would the Department of National Defense have comments?
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Yeah. While the subject House bill is not a DND bill, this office recognizes the significance of the bill in addressing the problem of access to critical drugs and medicines, among other medical devices and materials, especially in times of public health emergencies such as the pandemic that we are having now. We also agree with the DOH that shelf life or expiration of the drugs and materials must also be considered in stockpiling. Thank you. That's all, sir. That would be all.
Thank you. May we ask if our representative from the Philippine Council for Health Research and Development is already here?
Hi, sir. This is Yuli Garcia from the Philippine Council for Health Research and Development.
Yes, please proceed.
Yes. The Council fully supports the intent of the proposed legislation, and we will submit our comments after this meeting.
Okay, thank you. Then, do we have a representative from the FDA? Wala pa. Okay. Any other agencies that I wasn't able to call who would like to comment? Wala na. So if none, maybe we can first hear the reaction of our chairperson or the author, Chair Helen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, do we have guests from DTI?
ComSec, do we have anyone from DTI present?
Sir, I think we invited them, but I don't know if they will be able to come today, sir. We'll check, but we invited them, ma'am.
It's okay. Thank you, Ma'am Sylvia. To respond to the question of Ma'am Jane from DBM, it is stated in Section 7, yung sources po natin. And very clear naman dito, sinabi natin and identify natin that yung domestic and foreign sources. But as to the query niya on the medical stockpiling fund, tama po yung nabanggit niya na yung donations which I clearly specified in Section 9, that the DOH is allowed to solicit and receive donations. But for sustainability purposes of the fund, we encourage domestic sources also. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chair Helen. Would any of our members have questions to our author and our resource persons?
Mr. Chairman, Kong Biason.
Yes, please proceed, Kong Rufi.
Yes, with the Chair's permission, if I might direct my question to representatives from the DOH or other related agencies. Right now, thank you, Mr. Chairman. As of now, are we maintaining a certain level of supplies, medical supplies and devices for use by our government in responding to different scenarios?
Can our representative from DOH respond to that? Director Valdez?
Yes po, we have actually, it's allowed that we have inventory of 3 months based on COA rules and regulation. In most cases, we have more than that because we do not actually we procure in bulk for, especially for commodities for national public health programs. So we have more than that. So we have po. We keep an inventory.
So you keep a 3-month inventory, and how were you able to come up with that estimated quantity for stockpiling?
Meron pong based po sa program, meron po silang formula or prevalence of the disease, for example, and the targets and so on. And of course, it's also limited based on the budget that is provided to us every year. But it's scientifically determined. But of course, we do not actually, we're not able to serve all the requirements for all recipients. So it's limited po sa budget also, but we have we look at inventory, existing inventory as well, and incidence of the disease.
Yeah, so more or less, I would assume na yung selection ng supply is based on yung ongoing or yung usual health issues that are dealt with by the health agencies. No? Tama ba? Yung kadalasan nating nararanasan ang naka-stockpile, but for certain instances na medyo special case, may kasama rin ba doon sa stockpile?
No po, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, hindi po. So it's the usual programs that we have a stockpile. We don't have for like COVID-19, we don't have, in the case of PPE po, there are programs, for example, for infectious diseases that we have procurement for PPE but not responding to this kind of pandemic. So like for example, our regular procurement of PPE, for example, were used initially for the volcanic eruption. So, but we have a regular procurement minimum quantities po.
Yeah, understandable naman with COVID-19 kasi yung generation natin, first time natin na experience. And it is only now that we know the magnitude ng kailangan nating response. No? Pero you pointed out, like for example, yung volcanic eruption, we've experienced it before, and then yung pinaka-recent was the January Taal eruption. How were we able to respond as far as the supplies are concerned? Were we able to cope?
Yes po. Our existing PPE inventory at that time were used for responding to the Taal eruption. And then COVID came in, so we had to replenish actually. But of course, we had problems at that time with regards to the supply and of course manufacturing of this PPE, since the pandemic was worldwide, is worldwide.
And then, where do you physically store this stockpile? May warehouses ba tayong sarili? Are we leasing? And what size are these warehouses? Mga ganong type na pinaglalagyan natin.
We have po warehouses, DOH warehouses in Quezon City, some in the Visayas as well, and all the regional offices have their own small warehouses. But we also have 3PL or logistics partner, so we bid that out every year as well. And for vaccines, we use our ITM facility for storing the vaccines.
Yeah, so in terms of yung gaya ng vaccine, no, which requires special handling like refrigeration, our ITM lang tayo nationwide ang storage natin?
The main storage facilities are ITM, but may cold chain po kasi ang regions and the provinces as well. So we distribute that, and it's stored also in nationwide in the provincial level.
All right. For now, yun muna ang questions ko with the DOH. Madam Chair, I'm very much in support of the measure. In fact, I would like to become a co-author of this. My questions were mainly dealing on some concerns that I had. One is on the type of products and devices that we would be including in the list for stockpiling. And of course, second is the storage that we will have. I would assume that if we are to take it from the perspective of being prepared for such an instance as a pandemic, ang mangyayari, dapat yung stockpile natin would be more than what the DOH is doing now. Kasi as mentioned kanina, yung stockpile is more or less based on the current experience of the health issues that we normally encounter. But the whole point of having a strategic stockpile is to really prepare for unexpected public health emergencies, such as the pandemic that we experienced, possible biological and chemical or nuclear events that affect public health. So perhaps, Madam Chair, that could be one of the issues that we can introduce also into the bill to address those concerns.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kong Rufi.
And Kong Rufi. Mr. Chair, can I respond? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Kong Rufi, for the support on my proposal. Kasi this was discussed actually during our technical working group on National Health Security Act. That's why we are proposing to have a national program on National Drug and Device Security Program. So you're right, we need to specify specific provisions siguro on safeguards then on stockpiling. No? That's the reason why we wanted to strengthen yung procurement service at present ng DOH to become it as a bureau. So yung procurement and stockpiling in one, and as mentioned by representative from the DOH, the supply chain management service nila will also be included. So Mr. Chair, kung wala na pong ibang questions, our members and clarifications, our resource persons, as an author, I would like to suggest to have an in-depth discussion, to improve my proposed bill, to have a technical working group meeting, and we would like to encourage DOH to further study yung proposed bill natin and also the DTI, being the, I think, lead agency or important agencies for the implementation of this program.
Madam
Thank you
Chair.
for that suggestion, Chair Tan. Yes, may questions pa tayo from our colleagues?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, I think who was the first one who
Mr. Chair.
spoke?
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Yes, please. Sorry, hindi ko makita. Kindly
Yes,
identify.
I'm Congressman Ted Haresco from West
Yes,
Atlantic.
Yes, Kong Ted.
Two issues lang, Mr. Chair, which I would like to clear with DTI and PITC. The first issue is the pre-order of vaccines. Most advanced countries like the US, the UK, have already pre-ordered or put a down payment on the 6 leading vaccines, amongst which is AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Moderna of the UK. And what is the policy, Mr. Chair, of the DOH, the PITC in pre-ordering? Kasi, Mr. Chair, if the vaccines more or less pass through phase 3 and phase 4 trials by November, baka maiwanan tayo sa pansitan, Mr. Chair, kahit na mag-down payment lang tayo ng 5 centimos, at least nakalinyada tayo, Mr. Chair, because I believe from the policy statements of Donald Trump, they have ordered 600 million vaccines, and they will not share it with anybody, Mr. Chair. And so is the United Kingdom, so is Germany, and the only countries that are willing to share is China and Russia. So, Mr. Chair, these vaccines from Russia and China are, according to global press, are somewhat not in-depth. So, Mr. Chair, I would like to hear from PITC, DOH, and the DTI if part of the funds of Bayanihan 2 will be allocated for the pre-order of these top 5 or 7 vaccines. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Kong Ted. Would the DOH, PITC be able to answer the query of Congressman Haresco?
Mr. Chair, may I?
Yes,
There's po
please.
a committee tackling po with regards the vaccine. It's headed by DOST, by Yusek Guevara. So there's also a committee contacting the manufacturers, and also the DFA is also helping po in the coordination within the countries in their jurisdiction. With regards po to prepayment, I'm not sure about that, but there's an effort to actually coordinating with the manufacturers po, and the committee is composed of DOH, DTI, DOST, and other agencies.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I fear the word coordinating and committee. Kasi baka walang mangyari dyan, Mr. Chair. May I suggest to DTI, since they are one of the leads of Bayanihan 2 in terms of health and tourism, kung pwede competent agency or department para hindi po magturuan ang DFA, DOST, DOH, baka pwede natin malagay sa bill, Mr. Chair, na a competent agency will be responsible in the pre-order. It is not really pre-order from the normal sense of the word, because part of the down payment, quote unquote, is the participation or investment, pre-investment in the development cost of the vaccine. That's why they get the price at a much lower price than the envisioned market price. So it's a pre-investment on the development cost of the vaccine. And may I suggest to DTI that they just follow the template of the US, Canada, Germany, and UK in this quote-unquote pre-order term. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Kong Ted. Would Chair Helen like to respond to the query of Kong Ted? Critical ba itong bill before our government agencies will be able to order and stockpile vaccines for COVID-19?
For the current situation, may mandate naman ang DOH, DTI through PTIC to procure, no? Ito lang, proposal natin is while we're preparing for, of course, we're praying na it will not happen again, this pandemic, but very important siya sa paghahanda, hindi lang yung pandemic, but all threats na may impact sa health, no? So yung concern ni Kong Ted, siguro yung observation niya, yung trust and confidence with, like for example, PITC on the delays of procurement. Ako din, I've inquired that before kasi we do have mga foreign funded programs and projects or supports or aid na sa PTIC, PBSP nagla-lodge yung money. Na it took time kasi kung sa DOH yan, ang ginagawa nila ay pinapasa nila dito sa third party na to. So, yun yung problem, current problem natin at this time kung dumating yung vaccine natin in the future, no, for COVID-19. Baka na-anticipate talaga natin magka-problema tayo sa procurement.
Yes, Mr. Chair, baka
Yes,
mailagay natin, Mr. Chair, na PITC will be more or less lead in the pre-order, Mr. Chair. And my second point, Mr. Chair, I laud the bill of Congresswoman Tan, and I hope to be a co-author of the bill. But gusto ko lang po tanungin sa DOH. 2 years ago, last year, Mr. Chair, we lost hundreds of millions of medicines due to the lack of strategic warehouses all over the country, and particularly dito po sa Region 6 na yung nakukuha namin ng gamot ay mga expired. So Mr. Chair, sabi ng DOH last year, aayusin po nila ang mga warehouses kasi nag-expire daw ang mga kontrata nila sa mga warehouses at saka gagawa pa raw sila o naghahanap pa raw sila. So I wonder, ganun pa rin ba ang sitwasyon ngayon sa warehouses, Mr. Chair?
Thank you, Kong Ted. DOH.
I'm not sure po if Engineer Max of SCMS is also in this meeting.
Is the engineer, Mr. Chair, responsible for identifying the warehouses all over the country? Or are you?
Director
Good morning
Valdez,
po, Mr. Chair.
Engineer
I'm
Max.
Engineer Adan.
Okay. Yes, Engineer.
Good morning, sir, Mr. Chair. Yung regarding po sa query ni Congressman Ted, meron po tayong mga rented warehouses ngayon dito sa Metro Manila. And then nagkaroon po kami ng sub-allotment para sa rental din po ng mga warehouses sa region. And then meron po mga improvement. Also yung TPL. third-party logistics. Nagsabalap na rin po kami para magkaroon po sila ng additional funds for the delivery. And then meron pong last year na karoon po kami ng funding for the construction ng warehouse hub. I-start na po yung warehouse hub natin sa Manila. And then meron na po tayo sa ongoing din sa Zamboanga. So meron po kami proposal Bicol and then sa Central Luzon, kaya lang nakapending pa po siya for 2021 budget. And also for sa mga tracking services po natin, yung ating dapat magkaroon ng in-house na vehicle, yung DOH, para mas madali yung delivery. So yun po yung current status po natin mga warehouses, sir.
So alin po yung ongoing? Meron na bang ongoing? Wala pa.
Ano po, sir? Yes, sir.
Engineer, meron pang ongoing?
Yes, sir.
Meron na bang ongoing or?
Meron, sir, ongoing tayo ngayon dito sa NCR. Ongoing po yung ating construction, phase 1. Included po sa phase 1 yung cold room natin, parang magkaroon po tayo ng additional na cold chain. And then may ongoing na rin po tayo sa Zamboanga City para sa Mindanao Hub. Kasi sa Mindanao po, dalawa yung ating proposal, one in Davao and one in Zamboanga. So nag-start pa lang po yung sa Zamboanga. And then sa Visayas, meron din po tayo sa Cebu. Mag-i-start na rin po yung Cebu natin, phase 1. And then ang proposal po na natitira is yung Central Luzon or the Clark, and then yung sa Bicol na ikikita niya is yung Bicol region, and then part of the region 8 kasi meron naman siyang Roro. And then portion po nung Quezon. Yes, sir.
Okay, so 2 ongoing, Kong Ted. So 2 ongoing, 1 is about to start, and then yung iba pending for, I guess, 2021 budget.
So, Mr. Chair, it is undoubtedly clear that systemically we are not really prepared again for this year. And systemically, marami na rin po magiging expired na gamot kasi magtuturoan na naman po. Hindi ko po naiintindihan kung paano ang engineer responsible sa pagturo ng mga warehouses at saka bakit hindi po mas mura po magrenta at least hindi mag-expire yung gamot kaysa mag-construct tayo tapos mag-expire lang yung gamot. Is there there's something fishy, Mr. Chairman?
Thank you, Kong Ted. DOH, would you like to reply? Kasi although meron tayong mga ongoing, kaya lang, di ba, meron tayong problema ngayon. So ano yung short-term na solution po ng DOH? Is renting one of them?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Meron po tayong rented warehouse ngayon dito sa Metro Manila. And then meron nga po, nabanggit ko kanina, nagsabalat po kami ng pondo para sa warehousing naman sa mga regions. Para mag-rent din po sila ng mga warehouses nila na in addition po do sa existing warehouse nila na talaga naman po medyo maliit na masikip na for the supplies. So ongoing po yung renting po natin ngayon sa all throughout the regions and sa central office sa Manila.
Will that address the concern of
ongoing, Mr. Chair? We are in a pandemic, ongoing pa rin sila. Hindi ko maintindihan yan, Mr. Chair. Parang 5 months ago, yung DSWD, ang sinasabi nila, meron silang warehouse dito sa Metro Manila. Ang importante yung mga warehouse all over the country. Pero ang binibida nila, warehouse sa Metro Manila. Hindi naman Metro Manila ang buong Pilipinas, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Kong Ted. Siguro may interjection si Chair Helen.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Kay Engineer Adan, no? Kasi this was discussed during the budget hearing last year, no? Kasi one of the budget nga na proposed niyang DOH is the construction of warehouse. Pero siguro tingnan lang din natin yung pag-decentralize ng procurement ng mga medicines. Kasi lahat sa central office wherein kaya din naman gawin in the region, or if sana hindi ni-stock sa central office yung mga commodities, hindi naman yan mag-expire. Kung na-project nyo from the time na nagpo-propose kayo ng budget, more or less, halimbawa in Quezon, more or less na-project nyo how many or how much will go to each of the municipalities in Quezon. And from the procurement, you can ask the suppliers to directly deliver these commodities kung saan siya dapat mapunta. So I think more of ang question din kasi yung sistema ng procurement and the supply chain, no? It's a complete process na dapat tinitingnan nila. But siguro i-empower and i-delegate din sa regional office so that yung warehouses, which I think ang laki din ng investment, ay instead of na magko-construct tayo ng maraming warehouses, is directly mas mabilis ma-access ng mga tao. So I think paulit-ulit na namin sinasabi yan sa Department of Health. There's no reason para may mag-expire, and there's no reason para magkaroon ng delays in the delivery of these commodities to our constituents. So they just have to improve the system. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Huge, Chair Helen. Kong Ted?
Yes, Mr. Chair, if Chairperson Helen would like to put some penal clauses or provisions in your bill para hindi na po maulit tong ginagawa ng DOH, kasi it's basic management that timing and milestones, anticipation, that's basic for a doctor or basic for an engineer, pero parang hindi nila ma-solve on timing. Meron naman silang historical data on the types of meds, and meron naman silang historical data on the disbursement and utilization rate of all the regions and all the provinces. So bakit hindi nila ma-solve to? Ayun lang, that beguiles me, Madam Chair, why DOH cannot seem to solve this very systemic problem. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
Thank you.
Congressman Tejada.
Yes, Kong Tejada.
Yes, I do agree with Chairman Tan on this issue, because that has been a very important issue when we had our preparation for the 2020 budget. And in fact, actually, we said that it must be adapted because the procurement process can be done regionally, and the immediate need of it must be given on time. That is why the Honorable Chairman of the Health, Honorable Angelina Tan, reiterated and pushed the passage of this law to remind the DOH that has always been the problem. No, imagine they will procure and in Manila and have it sent to the provinces and the regions. Just imagine the time element as well as the availability of these commodities when the time and in the time when they are necessarily needed in the respective regions. And besides, they should already know the system to adapt. No, and in two budget hearings already, Ma'am Representative Angelina, that we came up with this issue, but I don't think up to this point in time they have not yet come up with the resolution. So I do agree with Honorable Ted Haresco that we, as much as possible, it's a matter of procurement and the process of bidding as well as distribution be included, Madam Chair Angelina Tan, in the law that we will pass, so that they will not have no any reason at all, because that is already the law. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you,
Kong Tejada. May we request, siguro kasi nga matagal na napag-uusapan to, may we request DOH maybe to submit to this committee yung clear plan nila with regards to this problem, including yung mga ongoing pending projects and yung plano nyo to rent out some of facilities to help store our medicines. May we request that, DOH?
Yes po, Mr. Chair. We'll do that po. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Then next, before Congressman Suarez, may we call first Congresswoman Ging Swansing. Kongging? Kongging, naka-mute. Nasa phone call pa yata si Kongging. We'll proceed first to Kong Suarez.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Yeah,
please.
hi. Good morning and good morning to everybody. I laud the effort of our Committee Chairman on Health on her very urgent and necessary bill to address the problem of medical supplies in our country. I just have a few questions directed to DOH. Can I be can they answer a few questions, Mr. Chair?
Yes, please proceed, Kong Jay.
Yes. Nung panahon na governor po ako ng lalawigan ng Quezon, I remember nung isa sa mga problemang na-experience namin ay yung supply ng gamot na nanggagaling sa central office. Because the explanation was the central office procures all the medicines and then it's brought down to the regional level, and then from the regional level, ibababa sa provincial level, then eventually sa RHU. At minsan, dumadating na dun sa sitwasyon na nag-expire na yung gamot at hindi mapakinabangan. In one specific instance, when we were implementing our program called Q1K, vaccination performance was very low. I think at that time, it was around 48% yung vaccination rate. And one of the issues that was raised was primarily itong lack of supply at saka problema sa supply chain. So gusto ko lang malaman sa side ng DOH, ano po ang opinion niyo tungkol po dito?
Yes, can the DOH respond? Nandyan pa si Director Valdez? Or anyone from the DOH?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I
Yes.
didn't get to the question clearly, but essentially what I got is yun pong pag-distribute down to the RHUs. Sorry po, I didn't get.
Yeah, Kong Jay,
Yes,
baka para
actually,
mas
the situation that we have is local government units are not receiving the supply of medicines in the proper time. And not only are we talking about the supply, we're also talking about the amount of medicines that they receive in the proper time. Kaya tuloy naapektuhan yung healthcare delivery system natin to the barangay level kasi masyado tayong centralized on top. So gusto ko malaman mula sa DOH kung ano ang ginagawa ninyong mga pamamaraan para maayos ito. Isa sa mga instances na specific sa amin, ito ang vaccination performance rate namin nung ini-implement namin yung first 1,000 days program. Isa sa mga lumilitaw na sitwasyon, nasa 48% lang ang mga nababakunahang bata sa aming lalawigan. So ang gusto ko po malaman mula sa DOH, ano na po ba ang mga hakbang ang ginagawa ninyo para ma-address po ito?
DOH.
Mr. Chair, actually what we buy are not all the medicines that are needed by the local government or the local health facilities. So we buy a certain quantity for all the nationally funded programs like EPI, But for maintenance medicine, we don't actually do that, but a certain portion only. It's not within our budget because every year we have also a limit to our budget. So it's around, I think, 19 billion as indicated in the GA. And most of these are for vaccines. Around 12 billion is used for vaccine. So for, of course, we buy TB drugs, some maintenance medicine, but it will not totally respond to all the requirements of the local government unit, because since you are devolved, there should be a counterpart or a fund also on their part. With regards po to the supply, for example, sabi po ni Congressman, yun pong may vaccine pero kokonte or walang supply to do the vaccination. So at times meron pong problema, like for example, if it's injectable, the supply for syringes, for example, did not correspond to the timing ng delivery po. But we're now pinapak na namin or sinasabay na po namin ngayon ang pag-procure ng supplies that are needed for vaccines. And we're medyo nag-improve na po. And this coming year, we're doing also framework agreement as espoused by the RA 9184 or the Government Procurement Law, and also under the Universal Healthcare Act on framework contracting. So we will do that po to avoid also expiries and all that. So the framework contract or framework agreement will allow only the DOH or participating local agencies to order only when they already need the what do you call this, the commodities. Yun po so far ang I remember po ng mga ano namin. Of course, we're also improving the distribution. That's why and storage. That's why all the regional offices, warehouses, and also hauling services are may kontrata po kami ngayon with several. Yun lang po, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Congressman.
much. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, because you know what, that's we put our constituents in a very big disadvantage, no? You know, we always talk about yung gap ng mahirap at sa mayaman. Itong mayaman, malimit silang nakakapag-avail ng mga bakuna, ng gamot kung kailan nila kailangan kasi may kakayahan sila. Tapos yung mga mahihirap naman na inaasahan nila yung mga gamot na manggagaling dapat sa gobyerno, hindi nakakarating on time. So, clearly, lumalaki po yung gap between them. And like what I said, it puts them in a clear disadvantage. So, that's why I'm fully supportive of the intention of our dear chair with respect to the bill that she's pushing. Siguro, ang maisasuggest ko lang, if possible, maybe we can also tie up with private companies and corporations. Tulad din po ng sinabi ng ating representative mula sa DOH, pag hindi naman pa kailangan yung gamot, wag na muna natin kunin. Kaso lang, on a local level or regional level, may nakatoka na. So, kukunin na lang natin kapag kailangan natin para maibaba. At yung time and motion element, mapapaliit natin yung gap sa delivery system sa pangangailangan ng LGU level. Kasi kung ang sitwasyon natin, Mr. Chair, and to our dear chairperson of the Committee on Health, Congresswoman Helen, is nag-aantay lahat ng region sa baba ng central, tapos yung central saka ibababa sa province, eh talaga napaka masalimuot yung ganong sitwasyon. So I fully support the position of our dear chairwoman when she mentioned that on a regional level, let's further capacitate them when it comes to the supply of medicines and equipment and whatever health requirements our local governments need and our constituents down in the barangay level need also. So with that being said, maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Kong Suarez. Before we hear the motion of Kong Swansing for the creation of a technical working group, si Kong Rufi, I think, would have some further questions regarding the matter. Kong Rufi.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Tanong ko na lang to para rin maisama natin dun sa preparation for the technical working group, yung information that we would be able to get. If I may go back again to DOH yung question. To the DOH, ito parang scenario. Right now, I'm an authority, and then I see the DOH and ask what medicine or what medicines or what supplies do we have, anong level nila, and can I get that information within 1 hour? May capability ba tayo ngayon na ganun?
Director Valdez, meron ba tayong ganong capability?
To know what is in our warehouses po?
Yeah, kunyari ako ngayon is I'm a decision maker now and I have to call on DOH and I ask, ano bang meron tayo dyan sa available stockpile natin? Anong quantity per kind of supply? All within an hour's time, ma-provide nyo sa akin yung information. Do you have that capability?
Yes po, we can provide that information since the warehouses we have updated stock cards naman po, so we can provide that information. It's not an integrated system at this time, but we're trying to also put up an electronic LMIS, but we have bits and pieces of LMIS in our warehouses, so but we can provide that information.
Pero as of now, wala pa kayo ng integrated system na automated na inventory management and tracking.
Wala pa po yung integrated, but we're trying to procure one, and USAID is also helping providing technical support for this engagement.
Okay. Mr. Chair, before we take action now on the motion, we just would like to raise some points that I think we would be making recommendations in addition to the bill. But just to clearly delineate, as I read the bill, the intention is to enable government to be able to immediately respond to public health emergencies. So I think we really have to separate the intention of this bill right now, which is said to be yung public health emergency response, as opposed to the regular requirements of the DOH in delivering its day-to-day services. Kasi yun yung nabasa ko sa bill, that it was meant for responding to public health emergencies, which I really support. That is a direction that I also have in mind. Siguro kung may introduce natin some concepts into the bill, one is yung determining quantity or the level of the stockpile. We might have, I would be suggesting that we indicate in the bill a provision which would mandate the determination of quantity and level. Number two, the determination of what will be stockpiled. Hindi naman kailangan na ilista na natin at this time into the law. But I think a provision that would mandate this so that it would be clear na gagawin ito dapat ng appropriate agency. Number three, yung setting up the stockpile and storage. While sinabi nga meron tayong ibang ginagawa na stock na warehouses, meron tayong nire-rent, I think for strategic purposes, especially nga yung sinasabi na for public health emergencies, perhaps an acquisition plan, 5 years or 10 years, to increase the capability of the DOH to do the stockpiling, no, by acquiring its own warehouses. Put it into a multi-year plan para ma-secure natin yung funding. And number four, yung sinasabi nga na computerized inventory management and tracking system, so that at a moment's notice, at any time, we can determine the levels of what we have and where they are. Kanina nabanggit din ni Rep. Suarez yung isang idea yung I would call it yung parang virtual stockpile, no? Agreements with manufacturers or producers na may naka-reserve na, may strategic reserve tayo sa kanila. In case na may kailangan, meron tayong pagkukunan among the producers and manufacturers. And possibly even during a time of a public health emergency, maaari silang mag-switch sa production nila to give priority to the needs of the public health emergency response by government. And finally, probably a provision encouraging, hindi man kayang mandate, LGUs to have stockpiles of their own. So, Mr. Chair, yun lang. Some ideas and suggestions na maaaring ma-take up during the TWG. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Kong Rufi. Yes, Chair Helen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Kong Rufi, for all the suggestions, and Kong JJ. Noted po all your recommendations, but as you go through to the bill po, almost all concerns were written, no? But of course, ako as an author, I want to improve more pa yung bill, kung ano pa yung kulang. So, I'm inviting you to participate in the technical working group meeting as co-authors also of this bill. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. And may I also request, may the committee request DOH to include yung rollout plan with regards to LMIS sa report na isasubmit nila, so that that can be taken into consideration also once we have the technical working group. I'd like to acknowledge. Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge first the presence of Vice Chairperson Alexi Tutor. Then now to act on to move, may I recognize Kong Ging Swansing for the creation of the technical working group.
Yes, Mr. Chair. I am in full support of House Bill 6995, authored by my best friend, Chairman Tan. And during the discussion, there are a lot of suggestions, and in that matter, the bill needs a technical working group in order to discuss and improve the bill. So for this, Mr. Chair, allow me to make a motion. I move that we create a technical working group to improve the bill. So move, Mr. Chair.
So there's a motion. There's a motion to create a technical working group, duly seconded, for House Bill number 6995. So any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved. And Kong Ging, since marami nag-manifest to be a co-author, would you like to move also that members present be co-author of this bill?
Yes, Mr. Chair. May I move that all members present here be co-authors of this bill with the kind indulgence of the author?
Second the motion,
I
Mr.
second.
Okay, so it has been moved and seconded that all members present would be co-author of House Bill number 6995. So with that, we have many more local bills to tackle. I'd like to turn over the chair to our chairperson, Helen Tan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, my dear colleagues, for the support on my bill. Before I call on the first local bill, I'd like to recognize first the presence of the following members: Representative Ditas Ramos, Representative Dalia Loyola, Representative John Ray Chanco, Representative Alberto Bobby Pacquiao. We also have our Deputy Speaker, Representative Don Gonzalez. Okay, that's all.
Madam Chair.
First bill is House Bill 426.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Representative Rufus.
Yeah,
Yes,
before
sir.
we go to the local bills, Madam Chair, let me first congratulate you as our chair and your bill. And I'd like to reiterate again that I wish to be a co-author of your bill. And that as a very short remark, I would like to say that your bill will really fast track the delivery not only of those that we are going to stockpile because of the pandemic, but all the necessary medicines that are put in our budget every year, such that when they are ordered and procured, as stated in your bill, not only those for the pandemic, but for all the medicines and everything that is bought by the DOH, immediately upon receipt of these medicines, it will now be downloaded and brought at least to the regional level, because it will be near our constituents in the different districts of our country. And so therefore, it is overdue, and we thank you for that bill, and we support that. And we hope that we can fast track our TWG and be able to approve that, such that the DOH will now be able to really put up, either rent or put up beside the regional offices, this building, to therefore immediately receive from the national all our medicines, to foreclose any of these medicines expiring and being of not use. So once again, thank you for your bill. We congratulate you, Madam Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the support. Thank you so much po. I'd like to recognize first our Deputy Speaker, Baby Arenas. The first bill is House Bill number 426, authored by Representative Rufus Rodriguez, entitled An Act Establishing 50-Bed District Satellite Hospital for the Northern Mindanao Medical Center in Barangay Tablon in the 2nd District of Cagayan de Oro City, to be known as the Barangay Tablon Northern Mindanao Medical Center District Satellite Hospital, and appropriating funds therefore. Sir, you have the floor. Kong Rufus. Kong Rufus. Sir, you can sponsor na po your bill, House Bill number.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry I was not present the first time you called. It's a very active committee, such that
Yes.
even if it's not called in the first instance, you immediately have it on the second instance. Thank you. And so I am proposing this bill because our Northern Mindanao Medical Center, the foremost and the only government regional hospital catering to 5 provinces of our region, Region 10, is really overburdened by a lot of patients coming in, not only from Cagayan de Oro City, but from Misamis Oriental, Misamis Occidental, Lanao del Norte, even from the Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao, from Marawi. And then we have Bukidnon, and then we have the case of Camiguin. And so therefore, in fact, Madam Chair, I have my bill with you that will increase the bed capacity, because 6 years ago I was able to have the 300 bed capacity to become 600, and that was 6 years ago. Now, 6 years after, we see, Madam Chair, that we already receive every day in Northern Mindanao Medical Center, and I hope our director of the hospital, the Honorable Director Jose Chan, doing a very good job in the NMMC, is present. Now 900 come to the hospital every day. Now our present capacity is 600, and we have 900. So 300 more are now sleeping in the corridors, and that is why I have my bill with you, Madam Chair, to make it 1,200, so that we will not go every 5 years going back to Congress. So we have there a bill, and I will be asking you also to, with your permission, to also put that in the next hearings, the 1,002 bed capacity. Now, our area for the Northern Mindanao Medical Center is quite a small area in front of the provincial capital. There is no more expansion on the side. It has to go up and up but we have already also built buildings going up to many floors. Therefore, it will need a satellite hospital on the east side of Cagayan de Oro. Because if we are going to just stay with this kind of a situation, the hospital in the center of Cagayan de Oro will become more crowded, overcrowded, and it will have difficulty from our patients. So this hospital is about 10 kilometers from the city, and that will cater to the barangays more far-flung from the city center of the city of Golden Friendship. And that is why we therefore request that there should be a satellite hospital in Barangay Tablon. That is about 5 barangays away from the city. That will take care of the other 7 barangays in the further part of Cagayan de Oro towards the east, because that is the first district, second district of Cagayan de Oro, my district. The second district also would need to the far-flung barangays there of Congressman Clarix Uy in Lumbia. I think he has filed a bill for that also. Now, so therefore, the only good thing that we have, Madam Chair, is that the city government has already purchased a piece of property in that barangay. So it's city-owned. The problem now is that, of course, the city requires funds because they have many other concerns for the city. And that is why while the lot has been purchased about 4 years ago, there has not been really much development. And that is why I come in, so that in coordination, that's why my bill provides for coordination with the city government. This is a city government project which is supported by the national government because they bought the land. What is important in any hospital is the land, and that is bought by the city. So this will be a joint project between the city and, because they own the land, and our national government through the DOH. And therefore, because operationally, again, our city may not be able to give all the funds necessary for a satellite hospital, it will be run by the Department of Health because we have all the funds from the national government that can be therefore be downloaded to this satellite hospital of the Northern Mindanao Medical Center. So with that, Madam Chair, I would like to seek your support and my distinguished colleagues after hearing our resource persons to approve this bill. This has been refiled since my 3rd term way back in 2014 because I ended 2016 and had a break. So I hope that after 6 years, we are able to have this approved when the Honorable Chairman Helen Tan is the chairman of the committee. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. May we hear from the DOH, Sir Rod Napulan. I'd like to greet first our Vice Chair, Alexi Tutor. She's with us also today. Sir Rod?
Good morning, Madam Chair, and good
morning
to all the members of this committee, as well as all the honorable representatives present right now, and to my colleagues in the Department of Health and the government agencies. Good morning, everyone, again. So let me read, Madam Chair, our technical review on the House Bill number 426. We will submit, Madam Chair, the signed position paper of the Department of Health once available, Madam Chair. So this is an act establishing 50-bed district satellite hospital of the Northern Mindanao Medical Center in Barangay Tablon in the 2nd District of Cagayan de Oro City, to be known as Barangay Tablon Northern Mindanao Medical Center District Satellite Hospital, and appropriating funds therefore. So the Bureau, the Department of Health, acknowledges the noble intent of the House Bill number 426 as authored by our Honorable Rufus B. Rodriguez, representative of the 2nd District of Cagayan de Oro City. Barangay Tablon is one of the 16 non-poblacion barangays that belong to the 2nd District of Cagayan de Oro City. Residents in Tablon and neighboring barangays who are seeking hospital care would need at least 2 hours of travel to access healthcare facilities near the city center, such as the Northern Mindanao Medical Center. The appropriate, more accessible healthcare facility could facilitate better healthcare to the members of the concerned communities. Relative to this, the Bureau interposes no objection to the intent of the House Bill 426, provided that the DOH, Northern Mindanao Center for Health Development, issues a certificate of need consistent with the DOH prevailing position on the matter and to relay, Madam Chair, and to our author of this bill, the Department of Health Executive Committee last October 21, 2019, issued the directives that we need to, for those with a satellite or annex hospital or extension hospital, we no longer support for it, but rather an establishment of a new facility is recommended. Further, this bureau also want to consider that the local government unit would be the supervise as well as manage the facility. Since the capacity of the hospital is not so big that for the national government to operate, Madam Chair. But regardless to this, the DOH assures access to funding support for capital outlay in the development of the proposed hospital. This is in pursuit of the goals of the Universal Healthcare Act, where RA 11233, the hospital can also expect to benefit from the functionality, operationalization, and support systems of the citywide healthcare provider network. Respectfully submitted, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Sir Rod. So the suggestion of the DOH is to establish instead of an extension or a satellite. Kong Rufus, can you respond? Are you amenable to the proposal or the position of the DOH or suggestion?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I'd like to thank the representative of the DOH for that exposition. Now, I believe that at this time, to be able to come out with a new hospital with a big structure, like having a hospital director, hospital administrative head, all of this overhead, will be not the right step at this point because we're only opening a 50-bed hospital. The rationale of putting up a hospital separately from the Northern Mindanao will entail more expenses if we are going to file a new hospital to be built. So since it is small, Madam Chair, nothing can prevent our committee and our as a policy-making body, our Congress, to at this particular time temporarily to approve a satellite hospital for only 50 beds, so that we will not entail so much expenses. The head of the hospital, Northern Mindanao, will be in charge of this and just assign doctors and nurses there. And as stated by the good representative from DOH, really, it will take about 2 hours from my farthest barangays to come to the hospital, a regional hospital, because not only are they far, but the traffic is terrible in our highway. And that is why we are making 2 more highways. But that is better said than done. We are still doing it and it's still ongoing. So I would suggest that we approve this as a satellite to incur less expenses. And when they, Madam Chair, and when they become big, they become successful as they will be, I will now file a bill. If I continue to be in Congress in the later years, which we do not know, because precisely we go through election, not selection, then we are therefore going to make sure, if again being there, when they are already successful and enlarging its facilities, that is the time, Madam Chair, to be able to have a new bill. But this time, let us have a satellite hospital. Now, the second thing, Madam Chair, is I would like to ask, because they are requiring that certificate, because I'm going to get it from the DOH Regional Director, is that? Can we ask again what is needed?
Certificate of need.
Certificate of need. From
Yes,
that is
po.
from the regional from the Department of Health
Regional
region.
office po. Yes po.
Yes, I will immediately call Director Subaan. I think if he's not here, but if he's here, we can ask him. But I will ask that, Madam Chair. So let us have it. Let us not have a grandiose bill. One bill, we will create a new thing, masyadong expensive. So with that, Madam Chair, I leave it to your discretion and my colleagues on this particular bill, which has been pending for the last 6 years already, Madam Chair.
Okay, sir. May we hear a motion?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Kong Joet.
I move that we approve House Bill number 426, pending all the requirements, Madam Chair. So moved.
I second the
I
motion.
second the motion.
There's a motion to approve House Bill number 426, subject to compliance to the requirements set by the DOH. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Congratulations.
And may
Thank you,
I
sir.
thank also Congressman Joet Garcia and my good friend, Congressman Ted Haresco. Thank you very much for
Me
your
also.
support.
Thank you
Thank you
so
very
Me
much.
much.
also.
Okay.
And also Ping Ping.
Tejada.
Thank you, Ping Ping.
Thank you,
Okay,
Robust.
thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Kong. Thank you.
We'll now discuss House Bill number on item number 2, House Bill number 1617, and item number 3, House Bill number 2478 are related bills. For item number 2, may I call on Representative Aleta Suarez to sponsor the bill entitled An Act Converting the Quezon Medical Center in Lucena City, Quezon Province to a regional hospital to be known as Quezon Regional Hospital and to increase bed capacity to 300 beds and appropriating funds therefore. Do we have Representative Aleta?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Kong JJ.
Yes, Madam Chair. If allowed, can I be the one to read the sponsorship speech of Congresswoman Aleta Suarez?
Please proceed, sir.
Thank you. To the members of the committee, Chairperson Helen, colleagues and guests, good morning. Quezon Medical Center in Lucena City, Quezon has been instrumental in caring for the health of Quezonians for more than 10 years. As a public hospital, QMC is the go-to medical facility of various patients needing primary and specialized care. Through the years, the local government of Quezon has been supporting QMC by providing various medical equipment it needed. In 2019, a Malasakit Center was established in QMC, which offers medical and financial assistance, especially among the indigent patients. The IPHO QMC Eye Clinic was inaugurated at the QMC Annex building during the latter half of 2019. QMC, Quezon Medical Center, is the primary referral center for COVID-19 in the province of Quezon. The hospital staff and healthcare workers have been tirelessly attending to patients, both COVID and non-COVID, with utmost dedication since the pandemic began. Given the array of services it offers, QMC is often swamped with patients from Quezon and those from other parts of Southern Luzon. Residents of Quezon and those in nearby provinces prefer seeking medical help in QMC since it is near and more accessible than Metro Manila. The influx of patients therefore often surpasses the current 200-bed capacity hospital. For this reason, this representation filed House Bill 1617, proposing the conversion of Quezon Medical Center into a regional hospital and thereby increasing its bed capacity to 300. However, given the broader benefits offered by the proposed bill of Honorable Congressman David Suarez and Ana Villaraza Suarez, I will be adopting in toto their House Bill number 2478, which pushes for the establishment of Quezon Medical Center as a regional training hospital and increasing its bed capacity to 700. Congressman J.J. Suarez served as governor of Quezon for 9 years and is the current representative of the 2nd District of Quezon, where QMC is located. I firmly believe that with his exceptional experience in office and his active participation and contribution in the management of the hospital while he was governor, he is in the best position to determine what is likewise best and most advantageous for QMC. I hope this august body will help uphold and promote the right of the people to health as safeguarded in our 1987 Constitution. Let us help ensure that patients can access and receive quality, competent, and adequate health care in Quezon by upgrading the health facility and providing training venues of health professionals to keep up with the demands and be at par with the national and global health standards. I therefore urge the members present today to strongly support this proposed measure. Thank you very much. So that serves as the sponsorship speech, Madam Chair, of Congresswoman Suarez.
You can proceed to your sponsorship speech for House Bill 2478, Kong JJ. This is
Thank you very.
Yes, po.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Congresswoman Helen Tan, Chairperson of the Committee on Health, members of the committee. As Governor of Quezon Province, oftentimes, not naman oftentimes, but most of the time, health has been the #1 concern that we are faced with, specifically centering into the number of patients that Quezon Medical Center receives. And I'm sure the story is not limited to Quezon Medical Center alone. I'm sure all the other hospitals experience the same. Ang QMC Hospital po is a 200-bed capacity hospital, but at any given time during my tenure as governor, hindi bababa sa 500 patients ang inaabot na ina-admit ng ospital. At minsan, pumapalo pa to 800, 900 patients in a single day. So what a 200-bed capacity hospital was designed to provide is now stretched its services to provide to 800 patients. So that's more than tripled. That's more than double the capacity QMC was designed for. And the continuous improvement and influx of funds that the provincial government has provided to the hospital has indeed improved the services of Quezon Medical Center. But as we all know, healthcare is a never-ending development. Its endeavor to grow has to be parallel to the demand of its constituents. So the House bill that we propose, Madam Chair, hopes to improve the health care facilities in Quezon Province by nationalizing Quezon Medical Center and improving its bed capacity from 200 to 700 bed capacity. I knock on the hearts and the spirit of the members of this committee to support such measure. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Kong JJ. Before I call on Sir Rod, I'd like to recognize the presence of Quezon Provincial Health Officer, Doktora Grace Santiago is also with us. Sir Rod, can you respond or provide us the position of the TOH on the said bills?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I would like to read, Madam Chair, the unsigned position paper of the Department of Health. We will submit, Madam Chair, once it is available. So the Department of Health supports the proposed measures that seek to convert the Quezon Medical Center in Lucena City, Quezon, into a tertiary hospital under the direct control and supervision of the Department of Health, as authored by Representatives A.Suarez, David Suarez, and Representative Ana Marie Villaraza Suarez. As of 2018, there are 27 hospitals, 18 level 1 and 9 level 2 hospitals in Quezon Province. There is no level 3 hospital in the province, and 8 out of 9 of the level 2 hospitals are located in the Lucena City. These 27 hospitals are composed of 570 government hospital beds and 940 private hospital beds. When we use the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan 2025 demand projections, we found out that the bed gap analysis showed that a total of 99 beds are still needed to address the bed gap for level 2 hospitals in the province. The newly renationalized hospital in Tagkawayan, Quezon, can also address these level 2 bed gaps. However, further analysis showed that there is also a need to have a level 3 hospital in Quezon, which will serve as the provincial referral hospital. Quezon Medical Center is a 200-bed level 2 hospital under the control and supervision of the provincial local government unit. From 2018 to 2019, the bed occupancy rate of the Quezon Medical Center is 299%, which is above the national standard of 80 to 85%. When we utilize the 80 to 85% efficiency measure as a standard indicator, we computed that the required bed capacity is at 700 beds. As such, the upgrade in the service capacity and capability of the QMC will not only strengthen and complement the hospital system and healthcare provider network in Quezon, but as well as the nearby provinces. Based on the foregoing, the DOH reiterates its full support to renationalize the QMC, upgrade it to level 3 hospital, increase its bed capacity to 700 beds, and the succeeding additional beds shall be consistent with the hospital development plan, provided that the local government unit shall comply with the requirements set, such as express of intent of LGU to give up its authority over the particular health facility, including its assets like HR, buildings, grounds, records, and equipment, to the national government, and address the Secretary of Health in course through the corresponding DOH Center for Health Development or the regional office. Second, is a Bundiang resolution justifying and explaining details of transfer of authority and with supporting resolutions from the local health board and local development council. And information on the health facilities condition, situational analysis of the catchment area, financial and other records showing difficulty in providing resources and records of interventions, strategies and activities the LGU had already taken. Moreover, we would like to propose an additional section with the following details. The Department of Budget and Management, in consultation with the DOH and the provincial government of Quezon, shall determine the cost of renationalized functions relative to the operations of the hospital from its current internal revenue allotment, and thereafter, and cost the allocation of the same to the DOH chargeable against the ERA allotment of the provincial government. The aforementioned recommendations shall complement the implementation of the Universal Healthcare Act as aligned with the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan. We also further to recommend for the provincial local government unit to consider the following options to further improve the healthcare provider network. Implement Republic Act number 1147 that aims to upgrade the service capability and increase the bed capacity of Maria L. Eliazar District Hospital in Tagkawayan, Quezon. Expand and increase the bed capacity of the private hospitals and provide incentives to the Department of Finance and Department of Trade and Industry Board of Investment. Expand and upgrade existing infirmaries in level 1 hospitals that are consistent to the Provincial Investment Plan for Health and the PHFDP. And further, maybe explore some additional beds for level 2 hospitals. We will submit, Madam Chair, our signed position paper once available, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sir Rod. I'd like to recognize first before we approve this bill, if Dr. Padre or Dr. Santiago would like to briefly speak. If not, we can proceed to the approval.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Kong June.
Just a clarification. The House Bill 1617 and House Bill 2478, are we talking of the same hospital?
Yes, sir.
So,
and as stated in the sponsorship speech of Representative Aleta, she mentioned that she support House Bill 2478 for consideration. So yung bill po niya sinabsum nung bill ng
okay.
2478, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Kongging.
Yes, Madam Chair, with the full support of DOH, I would like to move for the approval
Madam Chair.
and consolidation of the two.
Kongging, before you approve or move for the approval, Kong JJ would like to
Yes,
speak.
ma'am.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes.
Kong.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, I was listening to the position of the Director Rod from the DOH. Yes, and he mentioned something in the latter part about discussing with the Department of Finance and the DBM regarding the ERA allocation for the province of Quezon. Can he further expound on this? Because from what I gather, what he is implying is that the operation or the nationalization of the hospital will still be deducted from the ERA allocation of Quezon Province. Is that right, Madam Chair?
Sir Rod?
Madam Chair, because of the limitation and the implementation of the Bandanas ruling of the Supreme Court, Madam Chair, the Department of Health has difficulty in terms of getting the initial funds, especially for the operations of the hospital. So what we are proposing, Madam Chair, the initial years of the current era of the local government unit allocated to the hospitals will be getting returned back to the Department of Health for the operations of the hospital. And then the further improvement and upgrading of the hospitals will be coursed through the General Appropriations Act, Madam Chair.
Kong JJ,
yeah.
I think it's more on the transition period ang
Yes,
nila. But once, aware naman ng DOH that once we renationalize na the hospital, ang budget will be chargeable to the GAA through the DOH, no? So, ang suggestion lang nila yata based on the experience nila ng lahat ng nirenationalized na mga hospitals, nagkakaroon ng gap on operation because of the transition. Hindi kaagad nabibigay ng DBM yung budget na needed for operation. But still, just like with other bills that we enacted in yung ating mga hospitals na nirenationalize naman natin, so far, I think ang DBM nakaka-comply at least on the initial operation.
Yes. So if so, Madam Chair, may I request that we strike that out because it might be placed in the minutes and it might be considered in the approval of the same bill because that completely defeats the purpose of nationalizing. Furthermore, Madam Chair, if I may add, we're also in the process of breaking ground. We will soon break ground in a new hospital in Lucena City. So, and it will be the Lucena City General Hospital. So, eventually, it will also be run and managed by the provincial government. So, other than that, we have 16 different district hospitals and other hospitals around Quezon Province that need funding as well. So, kaya medyo na-alarma lang po ako dun sa nabanggit ng ating resource person from the Department of Health regarding this. And previously, when I was listening to the other recommendations of the Department of Health regarding the transition period, I never heard of ERA deduction in the nationalization of certain hospitals. So that is my point of consideration, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Kong JJ. Pending motion of Congress Representative Ging Sonsing.
Yes, Madam Chair, may I move for the approval of and consolidation of the two bills, provided that this will comply with the requirements of the DOH and subject to style and amendments, Madam Chair. So move.
Second the motion, Madam Chair.
There's a motion to consolidate House Bill 1617 and 2478. Subject to style and amendment and subject to the compliance to the requirements set by the Department of Health. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Congratulations po.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Malaking tulong po ito sa probinsya natin.
Yes, thank you. We'll now proceed to item number 4 on House Bill 3086 entitled An Act to Increase the Bed Capacity of the Concepcion District Hospital in the Municipality of Concepcion, Province of Tarlac from 50 to 100 beds, upgrading its service and facilities and professional health care, authorizing the increase of its medical personnel and appropriating funds therefore, authored by Representative Noel Villanueva.
Madam Chair, may I be recognized to present this proposed bill?
Go ahead, sir. You have the floor. Kong Noel. Kong Noel, I think bad yung connection ni Kong Noel. We'll call him again. We'll now proceed on Kong Noel. Okay, nawala po siya. Comsec, kindly advise Kong Noel. We'll proceed first to the bill of Representative Alan Aldo Dujali on House Bill 3111, an act establishing a 25-bed capacity district hospital in Panabo City, Davao del Norte, to be known as the Panabo City District Hospital and appropriating funds therefore. Do we have Representative Alan Dujali? May I ask someone from the committee, Kongging, if you can sponsor Representative Alan Dujali's bill, House Bill 3111.
Yes, Madam Chair, in behalf of Congressman Dujali, I would like to manifest that the explanatory note be recorded as his speech. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. May we hear from the DOH, Sir Rod Napulan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, we will submit, Madam Chair, our signed position paper once available. Let me read, Madam Chair, our technical review on the House Bill number 311, an act establishing a 25-bed capacity district hospital in Panabo City, Davao del Norte, to be known as the Panabo City District Hospital, and appropriating funds therefore, as introduced by Representative Alan Aldo R. Dujali. So the Department of Health, through the Health Facility Development Bureau, lodged the introduction of House Bill number 311. The province of Davao del Norte comprises of 8 municipalities and 3 component cities. It has an estimated bed to population ratio of 1:678, based on each 2022 projected population of 1,069,992. And based on the Department of Health Online Health Facility Statistical Report System, there are 16 licensed hospitals in Davao del Norte. 12 are privately owned, 3 are run by the local government units, and 1 is a DOH retained hospital, the Davao Regional Medical Center. There are also 11 private-owned infirmaries in the province. It is also noted that there is no public hospital in Panabo City. In consideration of the foregoing, our Bureau interposes no objection to the proposed establishment of a 25-bed capacity hospital in Panabo City, Davao del Norte, provided that the following criteria are met. First, there is an unmet need for hospital beds in the area. The DOH recommends a ratio of at least 1 hospital bed for every 1,000 population. A certificate of need obtained from the DOH Center for Health Development, Davao, to ensure compliance to the set criteria, such as the bed to population ratio, travel time, accessibility, integration with local hospital development plan, as well as the track record. Third, feasibility study is undertaken, which includes healthcare needs analysis, health resource analysis, benchmarking against the standards of the Department of Health, investment planning, stakeholder mobilization, and planning for monitoring and evaluation. And lastly, the integrity and safety of the hospital facilities, even disasters and emergencies, is ensured. The bill also proposes that the hospital to be established shall be under the supervision of the DOH. However, due to its role in the healthcare delivery and with the Davao Regional Medical Center, serving as the end referral DOH hospital in the network, it is deemed to be more appropriate for the proposed hospital to fall under the direct supervision and control and the management of the local government unit, with the DOH providing the necessary capital outlay funding support through the Health Facilities Enhancement Program. The foregoing recommendations shall complement the implementation of the Universal Healthcare Act that aligned with the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan. Respectfully submitted, Madam Chair.
Since Representative Alan Dujali is not with us, let's just approve this bill subject to their compliance. Kong June.
Madam Chair, with no objection from the Department of Health, I move that House Bill number 311 by Representative Alan Aldo Dujali be approved, subject to the compliance of the requirements set by the Department of Health and subject to style and amendment. I so move, Madam Chair.
There's a motion to approve House Bill 311, subject to style and amendment and compliance to the requirements set by the Department of Health. Can I hear a second?
Second, Madam Chair.
Seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, then the motion is approved. I'd like to call again Representative Noel Villanueva for House Bill 3086. Do we have Kong Noel?
I'm sorry, I encountered technical difficulty. May I be recognized, Madam Chair?
Go ahead, sir.
Madam Chair, it is my honor and pleasure to introduce or present House Bill number 3086, an act increasing the bed capacity of the Concepcion District Hospital in the Municipality of Concepcion, Province of Tarlac, from 50-bed to 100-bed capacity, upgrading its service facilities and professional health care, authorizing the increase of its medical personnel and appropriating funds therefore. Madam Chair, for the information of the body, this bill was already approved in the 16th Congress and was transmitted to the Senate. However, due to lack of material time, it was not enacted into law, Madam Chair. And this representation is ready for any questions that may be raised by the resource persons, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Kong Noel. Sir Rod Napulan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Based on our position paper, Madam Chair, that the Health Facility Development Bureau of the Department of Health lodged the introduction of the House Bill number 3086, an act increasing the bed capacity of the Concepcion District Hospital in the Municipality of Concepcion, Province of Tarlac, from 50 to 100 beds, upgrading its service facilities and professional health care, authorizing the increase of its medical personnel and appropriating funds therefore, as introduced by our Honorable Representative Noel L. Villanueva of the 3rd District of Tarlac. Concepcion District Hospital is a level 1 general hospital with an authorized bed capacity of 50 beds under the administrative control and supervision of the local government unit. It has an average occupancy rate of 114.25% based on its 2018 to 2019 annual health facility statistical report. Utilizing the bed occupancy rate of 80 to 85% as standard indicator for efficient utilization of resources of the hospital vis-a-vis the occupancy rate for the past 2 years, we estimated that appropriate bed capacity is 67 beds. The average number of outpatient visits for the same period is 18,817. In view of the aforementioned, the Health Facility Development Bureau interposes no objection to the proposed increase in bed capacity of the Concepcion District Hospital to 100 beds. Section 5 of the bill proposes that the amount necessary of the implementation of the Act shall be charged against the annual appropriation of the Department of Health for the year following the enactment and thereafter. So we would like to clarify if the intent of the bill is to renationalize or not, Madam Chair. If the author of the bill proposed for a renationalization of the hospital, we no objection, provided that the following criteria are met: the express intent of the local government unit to give up its authority over the particular health facility, including its assets like HR, buildings, grounds, records, and equipment, to the national government, and then address this to the Secretary of Health or through the corresponding Department of Health Center for Health Development original office. Sangguniang resolution justifying and explaining details of transfer of authority and with supporting resolutions from the local health board and the local development council. And information on the health facilities condition, situation analysis of the catchment area, financial and other records showing different difficulty in providing resources and records of interventions, strategies, and activities the LGU had undertaken. The Bureau proposes to rename the hospital if the author wishes to renationalize the hospital from district hospital to more appropriate nomenclature like general hospital to reflect its service capacity and coverage. In addition, the Bureau proposes inclusion of the following provision such that the Department of Budget and Management, in consultation with the Department of Health and Provincial Government of Tarlac, shall determine the cost of renationalized functions relative to the operations of the hospital from its current internal revenue allotment and thereafter, and cost allocation the same to the DOH chargeable against the ERA allotment of the Provincial Government of Tarlac. The foregoing recommendations shall complement and the implementation of the UHC aligned with the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan. We will submit, Madam Chair, our signed position paper once available. Respectfully submitted, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Sir Rod. Kong Noel, would you like to respond?
I'm not seeking for the renationalization of the Concepcion District Hospital. In fact, the provincial government of Tarlac has already invested much of its resources in the upgrading of this health facility. As of now, we have an ongoing 5-story structure funded by the DOH in the amount of 125 million and a counterpart fund from the Tarlac provincial government of 50 million was already utilized in the construction of this structure. What we need basically is the support of the DOH as in terms of medical equipments and personnel plantilla. We are not seeking for its renationalization, Madam Chair.
Kong Noel, if I may lang, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Suggestion. Actually, Kong Noel, kung hindi naman po talaga ninyo i-turn over yung management and supervision of that facility to DOH, no need to legislate. We can always ask po DOH support for equipments and infrastructure. And even the increase in bed capacity, since hindi naman po siya under ng DOH, the local government can always increase its bed capacity. But syempre, that's according to their available fund. Ang experience ko po on legislation sa maraming bills po na i-final sa atin, pagka locally run, tapos ang nakalagay po sa appropriation ay chargeable sa DOH, hindi po tinatanggap sa Senate. So, they always follow the recommendation of the DOH kasi nga yung structure kung locally run, still local government po ang in charge. But maganda rin yung suggestion ng DOH, ayaw mo naman na ibigay sa kanila, but maganda rin yung suggestion nila na kung gusto nyo po na i-renationalize yung district hospital to improve the capability and yung services ay ma-expand yung current district hospital nyo. But you will decide, sir, on that.
Madam Chair, the Bill 6 basically the recategorization of this hospital from a 50-bed capacity to 100-bed capacity. So as funds coming from DOH usually gives priority to higher category hospitals. That's my main objective, Madam Chair.
Okay, sir. But again, just a heads up po sa inyo, when we reach the Senate, the appropriation provision, they will tatanggalin po nila yung provision na nakalagay na the DM should be ganyan-ganyan na siya ang in charge doon sa increased bed capacity because it's a local hospital. So just want to reiterate lang. Well, anyway, we can approve this bill naman po, and we can Sir Rod. Anyway, we can approve po this bill subject to style and amendment siguro.
I move to approve.
Kongging?
CDS Gonzales na nag-motion siya to approve.
Okay. Kung DS, Dong?
I move to approve subject to amendment style of the House Bill of Congressman Villanueva.
Second, Madam Chair.
Okay, there's a motion to approve House Bill number 3086, subject to style and amendment. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Thank you so much. Congratulations, Kong Noel.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Congrats, Noel.
Thank you to DS Don Gonzales and to our Congressional Central Luzon Congressional Bloc President, the Honorable Ging Pachi, the next Governor of Nueva Ecija.
Kasama din ang Boracay.
Chismis yan.
So now proceed to House Bill number 2120, authored by Representative Tejada, entitled An Act Providing for Upgrade, Modernization, and Conversion of the Cotabato Provincial Hospital in the province of Cotabato into North Cotabato Regional Hospital under the control, management, and supervision and appropriating funds therefore. Do we have a Representative Ping Tejada?
Support tayo.
Yes, Madam Chair. Thank you very much. Thank you for calendaring this House Bill. House Bill number 3120. The explanatory note will be my sponsorship speech, and would like that it be taken up and approved by this committee. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Kong Ping. May we hear from Sir Rod Napulan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Let me read, Madam Chair, our technical review on the House Bill number 3120, an act providing for the upgrade, modernization, and conversion of the Cotabato Provincial Hospital in the province of Cotabato into the North Cotabato Regional Hospital under the control, management, and supervision of the Department of Health and appropriating funds therefore, as introduced by our Honorable Representative Jose Pingping I. Tejada. So the Department of Health, through the Health Facility Development Bureau, notes the intent of the House Bill number 3120 to renationalize the hospital and improve the service capability of the Cotabato Provincial Hospital. Cotabato Provincial Hospital in the city of Kidapawan, province of Cotabato, is currently a level 1 general hospital with an authorized capacity of 50 beds. Hospital statistics between 2017 and 2019 reported that its bed occupancy rate averaged 346%, whereby inpatient numbers climbed from 13,626 to 13,948 to 16,227, an average of 14,600 patients. Its outpatient visits 3-year average was 14,052, while emergency room visits was 9,140. In consideration of the above, the Health Facility Development Bureau interposes no objection to the proposed renationalization of the facility, provided the criteria are met. First, express intent of the local government unit to give up its authority over the particular health facility, including its assets like human resources, buildings, grounds, records, and equipment, to the national government, addressed to the Secretary of Health and course through the Center for Health Development. Sangguniang resolution justifying and explaining details of transfer of authority, and with supporting resolutions from the local health board and the local development council. And information on the health facilities condition, situation analysis of the catchment area, financial, and other records showing difficulty in providing resources and records of interventions, strategies, and activities the LGU had undertaken. Along with the above, the inclusion of additional provision is recommended as follows. the Department of Budget and Management, in consultation with the Department of Health, Provincial Government of Cotabato, and other concerned agencies, shall determine the cost of renationalized functions relative to the operations of the North Cotabato Regional Hospital from its current internal revenue allotment, which shall also be returned to the Department of Health's regular appropriations. Finally, it is recommended that Section 2 of the bill state that the upgrading and modernization of the health of the North Cotabato Regional Hospital, which include the expansion of its bed capacity and service capabilities, shall be in accordance to the Hospital Development Plan, which will be approved by the Department of Health. With these recommendations, House Bill number 3120 shall contribute to the implementation of the UHC to the benefit of its catchment populations and the healthcare provider networks therein, as aligned with the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan 2020 to 2040. Respectfully submitted, Madam Chair, and we will submit our signed position paper once available. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Sir Rod. Congging?
Madam Chair, since Congressman Pingping Tejada is the closest friend of my husband in Congress, I move to approve House Bill number 3120, provided that the Cotabato Provincial Hospital will comply with the requirements set by the DOH and subject to style and amendments, Madam Chair. So move.
Thank you, Congging. There's a motion to approve House Bill 3120, subject to style and amendment and compliance to the requirements set by the DOH. Duly seconded. Okay. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Congratulations, Kong Pingping. We'll now move
Thank you very
on
much, Commissioner Helen.
to House
Chairman
Bill
Helen,
number
Representative
3140.
thank you, MP, and all the rest. So, thank you, maraming salamat po today.
Thank you, sir. Authored by Representative Crystal Bagatsing, House Bill 3143, entitled An Act Upgrading the Jose Reyes Memorial Medical Center, or JRRMMC, into a Department of Dermatology and appropriating funds. Department of Health National Center for Trauma, Cancer, and Dermatology, and appropriating funds therefore. This is authored by Representative Bagatsing. Do we have Representative Bagatsing? Probably Congging.
Madam Chair.
Can you sponsor the bill of Kong Cristal?
Yes, in behalf of Representative Crystal Bagatsing, I would like to sponsor House Bill number 3143, and that her explanatory will be recorded as her sponsorship speech. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Congging. Do we have the director of JRRMMC? Or NCR director? Sir Rod?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the Department of Health, through the Health Facility Development Bureau, lodged the introduction of the House Bill number 3140, an act upgrading the Jose R. Reyes Memorial Medical Center into a Department of Health National Center for Trauma, Cancer, and Dermatology, and appropriating funds therefore, as introduced and authored by Honorable Representative Crystal L. Bagatsing of the 5th District of Manila. The Bureau recognizes that in order to progressively realize universal health care and ensure that all Filipinos are guaranteed equitable access to quality and affordable health care, establishment, development, and enhancement of edificial and operational aspects of health facilities are integral. The Philippine Health Facility Development Plan serves as the macro plan that shall provide policy, direction, and technical support in health service planning, upgrade the hospitals to meet standards according to respective service capabilities, and develop specialty centers in strategically selected Department of Health hospitals to increase availability and accessibility of specialty services nationwide, including trauma, cancer, and dermatology. The resource stratified framework for the development of specialty centers in the Department of Health hospitals as part of the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan have been crafted through this bureau to provide guidance in the establishment of these specialty centers in strategically selected Department of Health hospitals, including A.Suarez Memorial Medical Center. MMC is one of the DOH hospitals to become a multi-specialty center based on the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan, resource stratified framework for specialty centers. MMC shall become the National Specialty Center for Dermatology, Trauma, Brain and Spine Care, Advanced Comprehensive Center for Cancer, Eye Care, Basic Comprehensive Center for Neonatal Care, Burn Care, and Orthopedic. In view of the foregoing, the Health Facility Development Bureau recommends the establishment of specialty centers be guided by the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan. Hence, it is hereby proposed to consider the passage of the proposed bill because the PHFDP already designates A.Suarez Memorial Medical Center to become the National Specialty Center for Trauma and Dermatology and an Advanced Comprehensive Center in Cancer Care, subject to its current space availability and master site development plan. The recommendations are timely and shall complement the implementation of the UHC as aligned with the aforementioned Philippine Health Facility Development Plan. Respectfully submitted, Madam Chair, and we will submit our signed position paper once available. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Sir Rod, question. So yung JR, yung Jose Reyes Memorial Medical Center will be renamed into National Center for Trauma, Cancer, and Dermatology.
Madam Chair, what we understand based on the bill, Madam Chair, is the name would be still the same, the Jose Reyes Memorial Medical Center. We just to institutionalize the specialty centers available and will be upgraded in the Jose Reyes Memorial Medical Center, Madam Chair.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sir Rod. Since the DOH interposes no objection, may I hear a motion for the approval of this bill? Kongging? Oh no, sorry. You're the one who sponsored this bill. Kong June. Kong June.
Move to
Kong
approve.
Joet. Kong Joet. If you can move for the approval.
This is
House Bill
3143.
3143. Yeah.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to move for the approval of House Bill number 3143.
There's a motion to approve House Bill 3143, duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. We'll now proceed to House Bill number 3266, authored by Representative Ching Veloso III, entitled An Act Converting Eastern Visayas Regional Medical Center, Villanueva Extension, or EVRMC, Villaba Extension in the municipality of Villanueva, province of Leyte, to a tertiary hospital and to increase its bed capacity from 25 beds to 200 beds, upgrading the service, facilities, and professional health care therein, and appropriating funds therefore. Do we have Representative Ching Veloso?
Yes, I am here, Madam Chair. Thank you so much. Can I have now the floor, Madam Chair?
Yes, sir.
As explained in my explanatory notes, EVRMC Villanueva Extension was put up to provide medical services not only for the 3rd District of Leyte, but also to the neighboring districts like 2nd District, 4th District, and the entire province of Biliran. As of now, with 25 beds, the hospital really would be quite insufficient in terms of medical services. Also, even if we limit ourselves to the patients coming from 3rd District of Leyte, The Department of Health, speaking through Regional Director Molon in her position paper dated April 1, 2020, which I understand is already in your possession, Madam Chair, it already points out that at the ratio of 1:1,000 bed to population, 173 beds would already be needed. Certainly 25 bed capacity as it has now is very, very way below standard. I understand this is standard set by the World Health Organization. Also, the Department of Health admits that the 3rd District of Leyte has no hospital, Madam Chair. It has only 2 infirmaries. There is therefore nothing to cater to the needs, and it is not compliant with the provisions of Section 11, Article 13 of the Constitution, which mandates, Madam Chair, the government's providing free medical services to the needy. Currently, Madam Chair, EVRMC Villanueva Extension is fully loaded with COVID-19 patients. 2 weeks ago, it had 22 positive COVID-19 patients, and the number is rising because of the LSIs coming to Villanueva. We are talking only of Villanueva. A lot of our COVID-19 patients are already confined in non-hospital facilities that have just been cleared by the LGUs. And some are in fact in evacuation centers, and the LSIs who are still to be swabbed are already in the gym. We have almost 200 LSIs there, Madam Chair. What I am saying is that in terms of medical requirements of the other patients, the non-COVID patients, there is no hospital that can attend to the medical needs of the 3rd District of Leyte population. As to the need, Madam Chair, for, by the way, this was already brought to the attention of the Office of Civil Defense, and the OCD Regional Director assured this representation, Madam Chair, that they will talk to DepEd to at least open the local schools in the area in order that we can prevent the spread of COVID-19 to other municipalities. By the way, the other municipalities are also plagued with the same problem simply because we do not have a hospital of this magnitude. We only have EVRMC limited only to 25 bed capacity. Madam Chair, as to the need for a tertiary hospital, the 3rd District of Leyte patients, as well as the 2nd, 4th districts and Biliran province patients, go to Cebu for specialized medical attention, making EVRMC Villanueva Extension a tertiary hospital with its fields of specialization at a 200-bed capacity is therefore necessary. Madam Chair, in sum, upgrading EVRMC Villanueva Extension to a tertiary hospital at initially 200 beds capacity that is fully equipped with plantilla personnel and hospital equipment would be in order. Thank you, Madam Chair. I will now respond to whatever queries there may be from the resource persons. Thank you.
Thank you, Kong Ching. Sir Rod Napulan.
Madam Chair. The Bureau, the Health Facility Development Bureau of the Department of Health, lodged the noble intent of the House Bill number 3266, an act converting Eastern Visayas Regional Medical Center, Villanueva Extension, in the municipality of Villanueva, province of Leyte, to a tertiary hospital and to increase its bed capacity from 25 beds to 200 beds, upgrading the service, facilities, and professional health care therein, and appropriating funds therefore, as introduced by Honorable Vicente Ching, Veloso III of the 3rd District, province of Leyte. The 5 municipalities in the 3rd District, province of Leyte include Leyte, Calubian, San Isidro, Tabango, and Villaba, a combined population of 179,594. With no hospitals in the district, available beds for inpatient care are shared by 3 licensed government infirmaries, a total of 95 authorized beds. The bed-to-population ratio is almost 2,000 for every authorized bed in the district. In consideration of the foregoing, the Health Facility Development Bureau interposes no objection and support the proposed increase in the capacity of the facility, provided that the said facility shall be converted into a tertiary care general hospital to be named as such to represent its geographical location and or intended geographical reach of services. It is also recommended to consolidate sections 2, 5, and 7 of the House Bill number 3266 into one provision to read as follows. The incremental increases in bed capacity with commensurate upgrading in facilities, service capabilities, and professional health care shall be in accordance to its hospital development plan as prepared and approved by the Department of Health. And also, Madam Chair, I would like to inform that the Villanueva extension right now is under the Eastern Visayas Regional Medical Center with the support of the Department of Health in terms of its operation. And with these recommendations, Madam Chair, the House Bill number 3266 shall contribute to the implementation of the universal health care to the benefit of the catchment population and healthcare provider network therein, as aligned with the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan. And further, Madam Chair, would like to reiterate, Madam Chair, the directives of our EXICOM that the extension hospital, annexes, and other modes of extension hospital are not encouraged by the Department of Health. Hence, we are suggesting to rename the hospital and remove the extension name, Madam Chair. We will submit, Madam Chair, our signed position paper once available. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Sir Rod, Kong Ching.
I have no problem with the proposal of the Department of Health that in fact it be named only as EVRMC Villanueva Medical Center. And we can forego with the name section, it being the policy of the department.
Thank you so much, Kong Ching. Kong Ching.
Madam Chair, my wife is a Veloso. She is a niece of Chairman Ching Veloso. And she's from Leyte. So with that, may I have the honor of moving for the approval of House Bill number 3266 of sponsored by the Honorable Chair of the Committee.
I second the motion.
Second.
Madam Chair.
There's a motion to approve House Bill 3266 subject to style and amendment. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Congratulations, Kong Ching.
Maraming salamat, Madam Chair.
We'll now proceed to, before I call on the sponsor of House Bill 3552, I'd like to recognize the presence of Representative Maria Lucille Nava and Representative Edgar Chatto. To sponsor House Bill 3552, authored by Representative Carlito S. Marquez, entitled An Act Establishing Aklan Geriatric Medical Center in Province of Aklan. I'd like to call on Kong Jun Gato.
He left na, Madam Chair.
Oh, Kong Ging can help me.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Sorry.
In behalf of Congressman Carlito Marquez, who is in Boracay right now, I would like to sponsor House Bill number 3552 and manifest that his explanatory note be recorded as his sponsorship speech. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Kong Ging. Sir Rod Dapulan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Department of Health through the Health Facility Development Bureau launched the introduction of the House Bill number 3552, an act establishing the Aklan Geriatric Medical Center in the province of Aklan, as introduced and authored by Representative Carlito S. Marquez of the 1st District of Aklan. The Health Facility Development Bureau recognizes that in order to progressively realize Universal Healthcare Act, and ensure that all Filipinos are guaranteed equitable access to quality and affordable healthcare, establishment, development, enhancement of the official and operational aspects of health facilities are integral. The Philippine Health Facility Development Plan serves as the macro plan that shall provide policy direction and technical support in health service planning, upgrade the hospitals to meet standards according to respective service capacities and capabilities, development specialty centers in strategically selected DOH hospitals to increase availability and accessibility of specialty services nationwide, including the geriatric centers. The resource stratified framework for the development of geriatric centers in the Department of Health hospitals as part of the Department of Health Philippine Health Facility Development Plan have been crafted by this Bureau to provide guidance in the establishment of the specialty centers in strategically selected DOH hospitals through the technical assistance of the National Center for Geriatric Health, as designated National Center for Geriatric Care. The Philippine Health Facility Development Plan targets the completion of 31 geriatric centers spread across the different regions of the country. For Region 6, the designated hospitals where geriatric centers will be established are the Western Visayas Medical Center in Iloilo City and Corazon Locsin Montelibano Memorial Regional Hospital in Bacolod City. These geriatric centers shall serve as the end referral hospital, providing specialty healthcare services for the senior citizens in the region. In addition, Section 5C of the Republic Act number 9994, or the Expanded Senior Citizens Act of 2010, mandates the establishment of senior citizens ward in every government hospital. In consideration of the foregoing, the Department of Health through the Health Facility Development Bureau recommends that the rational allocation of resources in specialty care services be guided by the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan. The establishments of the specialty centers in Western Visayas and in other DOH hospitals in the whole of Visayas will serve the noble purpose being sought by the proposed Aklan Geriatric Medical Center, which is to provide better geographical access to geriatric health care services. Moreover, implementation of RA number 9994 shall be also strengthened. The recommendations are timely and shall complement the implementation of the Universal Healthcare Act as aligned with the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan. So we will submit, Madam Chair, our signed position paper once available. Respectfully submitted, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. Since the DOH interposes no objection, may I hear a motion for the approval of this bill?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Congressman.
Madam Chair. I move that we approve House Bill number 3552, authored by Representative Carlito Marquez. So move, Madam Chair.
There's a motion to approve House Bill 3552. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. We'll now proceed to House Bill 3561. Thank you for patiently waiting, Representative Freddy Haresco.
Thank you,
It's
Madam Chair.
entitled An Act Converting the Ibahay District Hospital in the Municipality of Ibahay, Province of Aklan, into 200-bed capacity hospital to be known as the Western Aklan General Hospital, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Thank you. Yes, Madam Chair, West Aklan is a newly created district of the province of Aklan. And West Aklan includes Boracay, Madam Chair. Some 10 years ago, when the contribution of Boracay was only 27 billion to gross domestic product, our hospital had already 101% over patients. And at that time, 10 years ago, 101%. Ngayon po, 2019, we're already in the 340% level, Madam Chair. Sa COVID, Madam Chair, nakita po namin na ang West Aklan is the natural epicenter of inhabitants from half of Antique and Romblon Island. That's why, Madam Chair, we are overwhelmed with some 6,000 patients per day in West Aklan, Madam Chair. So in the gaps analysis conducted by the DOH, Madam Chair, last year, nakita po nila ang pagkukulang ng district hospital dito sa West Aklan, lalong-lalo na before COVID hit our province, we contributed some 59 billion pesos to GDP. To put it in context, Madam Chair, the contribution of land-based OFW is 380. If we hope to achieve contribution to GDP in the mid-60 levels, Madam Chair, kailangan po talaga ng hospital, kailangan ng confidence sa mga tourists for Boracay, Madam Chair. That is why the DOH proposed to increase or upgrade the levels of our hospitals in Malay, where Boracay is, and in Ibahay, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Representative Teddy Haresco. Before I call on Sir Rod, I'd like to recognize the Provincial Health Officer, Dr. Leslie Ann Luces.
Yes, good afternoon. So, in behalf of the Provincial Health Office Plan, with me also is Architect Larry from Provincial Engineering's Office, and we fully support the House Bill of Haresco of upgrading our two hospitals, which are Ibahay and Villanueva Hospital. This is as per our
Doktora Luces, I think may naka-open po na other Zoom. If you can shut it down or lower the...
So, as per our statistics, there is really an increase in number of patients across the years for these two hospitals. And for the entire province of Aklan, we only have one level 2 hospital, and as of now we don't have any level 1. We have one level 2 hospital, which is our provincial hospital, but we don't have any level 1 hospital, especially in the western part, in the district 2. We only have infirmaries, and we don't have a level 1 hospital. So we really fully support the House Bill of CONGTED to increase the bed capacities of our hospital and to improve it to a level 1 facility. And this will really greatly improve the services that will be provided in our constituents here in the province of Aklan.
Thank you, Dr. Luces. Sir Rod?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, Department of Health, through the Health Facility Development Bureau, launched the introduction of the House Bill number 3561, an act converting the Ibahay District Hospital in the municipality of Ibahay, province of Aklan, into a 200-bed capacity hospital to be known as the Western Aklan General Hospital, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes, authored and introduced by Representative Teodorico Nonong T. Haresco Jr. of the 2nd District of Aklan. Ibahay District Hospital is an infirmary with an authorized bed capacity of 25 beds under the administrative control and supervision of the local government unit of Aklan. It has an average bed occupancy rate of 199.3% based on its 2-year statistical report from 2018 to 2019, utilizing the bed occupancy rate of 80 to 85% as standard indicator for the efficient utilization of resources of the hospital vis-a-vis the occupancy rate for the past 2 years. Its appropriate bed capacity is approximately 60 beds. The average number of outpatient visits for the same period is 22,324. In cognizance, the Health Facility Development Bureau interposes no objection to the increase in bed capacity of Ibahay District Hospital to 200 beds in consideration of Aklan's current bed to population ratio of 1:1,027 as compared to the national ratio of 1,000 beds, one bed to 1,000 population. The Health Facility Development Bureau also interposes no objection to the proposal to renationalize the hospital, provided that the following criteria are met. The express intent of the local government unit to give up its authority over a particular health facility, including its assets like HR, buildings, grounds, records and equipment to the national government. Addressed to the Secretary of Health, course through the Center for Health Development, Western Visayas. Sangguniang resolution justifying and explaining details of transfer of authority with supporting resolutions from the local health board and the local development council. And third, information on the health facilities condition, situational analysis of the catchment area, financial and other records showing difficulty in providing resources and records of interventions, strategies and activities the local government unit had undertaken. Moreover, the additional section is hereby proposed as follows. The Department of Budget and Management, in consultation with the Department of Health and the Provincial Government of Aklan, shall determine the cost of renationalized function relative to the operations of the hospital from its current internal revenue allotment, and thereafter, and cost the allocation of the same to the Department of Health chargeable against the ERA allotment of the Provincial Government of Aklan. The foregoing recommendations shall complement the implementation of the UHC as aligned with the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan 2020 to 2040. Respectfully submitted, Madam Chair, and we will submit our signed position paper once available. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair. Madam
Go ahead,
Chair.
sir.
Yes, in the letter given to me by the USEC of the DOH, wala pong pinag-usapan na nationalization ng hospital namin. So, nabibigla po ko ngayon araw na ito ay bigla na lang ina-nationalize. And all over the country, DOH has assisted, supported provincial hospitals, Madam Chair, and we do not seek to have DOH control our district hospital. So, nagugulat po ako. Gusto ko po makilala yun na nagsabi doon na bigla na lang nila sasabihin sa akin na Itbulaga. Sino nagsabi noon? Sinong USEC? Kasi dalawang USEC ang pumunta sa nagbisita dito sa Aklan. Pumunta pa silang Boracay. Tapos gusto naman nila ngayon na i-nationalize. Bakit, Madam Chair? We are providing the equity of the land, Madam Chair. We will provide the personnel. All we need is some assistance from the national government. So, nagugulat ako, Madam Chair, na sana before the committee hearing, bigay sa akin ang posisyon ng DOH. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Sir. Okay, sir. But we can approve naman as is yung inyo pong bill kung ano pong gusto
Thank you.
So, it was just an
thank you, Madam
suggestion
Chair.
of DOH, I think. Kongging?
Madam Chair, since DOH interposes no objection, I move for the approval of House Bill number 3561, provided that the requirements set by the DOH side.
There's a motion to approve House Bill 3561, subject to style and amendment, duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. We'll now proceed to House Bill 3591.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Congratulations, sir. Authored by Representative Rimpe Bondoc. Entitled An Act Converting the Santo Tomas Infirmary Hospital in the Municipality of Santo Tomas, Province of Pampanga, into an annex of the Jose B. Lingad Hospital, Memorial General Hospital in San Fernando, Pampanga, to be known as the Jose B. Lingad Memorial General Hospital, Santo Tomas Annex, and appropriating funds therefore. You have the floor, Kong Rimpi.
Thank you so much, Madam
Thank you for waiting patiently.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, for giving me the chance to sponsor before the committee House Bill number 3590. And before I begin, I would like to say my personal thanks to our esteemed and hardworking chairperson, Doktora Helen, because in the previous Congress, the 17th Congress, she was the chair when we upgraded the bed capacity of the Jose Bilingad Hospital from 500 beds to 1,000 beds. And it is now a Republic Act thanks to our esteemed chairperson, Doktora Helen. So I would like to thank our chair. At the same time, I say good morning to all our colleagues. And I would like to also say good morning to first our Regional Director for Region 3, Dr. Cesar Casion, as well as Dr. Evelyn David, our Cluster Head for Region 3, Health Facility Development Unit, who have always been supportive of this project. And for the information of the committee, our Chief of Hospital of Jose Bilingad Memorial Hospital, Dr. Montserrat Chichioco, sadly cannot join us today as her father passed away just today or early morning today. So she is not with us. But I would like the committee to know we have always been strong supporters of the Jose Bilingad Memorial General Hospital. And it was my sister in the 15th Congress, a health professional like our esteemed chairperson, Dr. Ana, who enacted the Republic Act 10355, which upgraded the Jose Bilingad Hospital from 250 beds to 500 beds. And then in the last Congress, with the help of our chairperson, Republic Act 11359, from 500 beds to 1,000 beds. So we are very close in coordination with Jose Bilingad Hospital. I have sent the documentation to our committee already regarding this Republic Acts, and also to our letters every year of how Doktora Chichioco or the hospital directors write us for funding and our support to them and the responses of the Department of Health, which results in GAA funding for Jose Bilingad. So we have a very close relationship. And I'm saying this because I already know, Madam Chair, esteemed colleagues, that the Department of Health will traditionally object to an annex. But let me explain already that with the amount of funds that us and the Central Luzon Bloc is very supportive under Madam Ging, the amount of funds we bring to JBL, there is already no longer buildable space for our Jose Bilingad Hospital. We would like to buy land, but Jose Bilingad is in the center and the land is very expensive. So the quickest way we saw was the next municipality, which is just 10 minutes away from International Highway, Santo Tomas. I spoke to them in coordination with the Department of Health and JBL Hospital. The municipal government way back in 2018 already wrote a resolution. They donated 1 hectare of land, and I put up already a 50-bed infirmary with a total of 100 million pesos for equipment and for the facilities. It is standing already, and the municipality gave an additional buildable space of 5 hectares. So a total of 6 hectares buildable space, including a 50-bed structure already standing. The quickest way we can give it to Jose Bilingad Hospital is through this legislation, because it is in another municipality from where the regional hospital is located. So I seek the support of this esteemed committee, and I will work out with the Department of Health, both in the region and in the national, all their concerns. I know they have a stock answer already that they oppose annexes and a similar such legislation. But this is unique in that the point is really to give more buildable space, because Central Luzon Bloc is always giving funds to Jose Bilingad, and with this buildable space, we can build those facilities. In fact, the 50-bed structure is already being used for this COVID emergency, and it is only from the main buildings So we hope to build more and expand more with this new site that we have, if the committee will allow us. And this is the easiest way to do it through legislation. In fact, we are practicing it already. The facilities that allow us to vent more funding into Jose Bilingag. So thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you to the President also of Central Luzon Block, Madam Jing Swansing, and I earnestly hope that you will support this House bill. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you, Kong Rimpi. Sir Rod?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I hope the good Representative Juan Pablo.
Sir Rod, before you pala, I'd like to recognize lang RD Casyon. I think he's with us. RD?
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I would like to greet the esteemed members of this committee. Of course, also the other members of the House of Representatives. For us, for the Department of Health, Central Luzon Center for Health Development, interposes no objection and actually strongly support House Bill number 3590, and converting the Santo Tomas Infirmary Hospital in the municipality of Santo Tomas, province of Pampanga, into an annex of Jose Bilingag Memorial General Hospital in San Fernando, Pampanga, to be known as the Jose Bilingag Memorial General Hospital Santo Tomas Annex, and appropriating funds therefore, and authored by our good Representative Rimpi Bondoc. Jose Bilingag Hospital, which is a DOH retained hospital, receives referral from all over Central Luzon and even nearby provinces, and at present, they have allocated 30 to 40% of their beds to COVID cases. The rest are for non-COVID cases. However, the conversion of the Santo Tomas Infirmary Hospital in Santo Tomas can help Jose Bilingag Hospital to expand on their services and immediately respond to the current COVID situation in terms of admitting or decongesting the main hospitals for COVID cases and for the Santo Tomas Infirmary for non-COVID cases, or maybe portion of that could be allocated also for COVID cases. So for us at the regional office, we strongly support and interposes no objection to the House Bill number 3590. Thank you po, Madam Chair.
Salamat, RD Casyon. Sir Rod?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you po, RD Casyon. Following the decision of the Department of Health Executive Committee that discourages the establishment of extension and annex facilities, this Bureau has reservations on the proposed measure, Madam Chair. Otherwise, Madam Chair, we can further study on the healthcare provider network so that we can ensure that the service capability and service capacity of the hospital is appropriate for the Department of Health to operate the said facility, the proposed facility, Madam Chair. As we know, Madam Chair, the primary mandate of the local government unit is for the operations of the primary care facilities, including those of infirmaries and as well as level 1 facilities. So with this, Madam Chair, we need to further study the proposed measure to ensure that it is complement with the Universal Healthcare Act as well as in alignment to the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan, Madam Chair. So we wish to provide us further time to study further, Madam Chair, this proposed measure.
Anyway, yes, DS Don Gonzales.
Wait, Madam Chair, thank you. While waiting for the study, I think we can approve this proposed House Bill, the annex in Santo Tomas, because I know this very well, and it helps a lot to our constituents. So I think while waiting for the study of the head office, I move to approve this proposed House Bill of Congressman Rimpi Bondoc. That's all.
Second.
Thank you, DS. There's a motion to approve House Bill 3590, duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Sir Rod, please collaborate or closely coordinate with the office of Kong Bondoc.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to all our colleagues and to the Department of Health po. Salamat po, Ma'am
Thank
Chair.
you. We'll now proceed to House Bill number 4046, authored by Representative Johnny Pimentel. Entitled An Act Converting the Bislig District Hospital in Bislig City, Province of Surigao del Sur, into a medical center to be known as the Bislig City Medical Center, increasing its bed capacity from 50 to 500 beds and appropriating funds therefore. Do we have DS Johnny Pimentel? If none,
Madam Chair,
yes, DS Don Gonzales.
in the absence of Congressman Deputy Speaker Pimentel, can I represent him? And his explanatory note will be this his message to this proposed House Bill, Madam Chair.
Thank you, DS. Sir Rod Napulan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, would like to clarify the intent of the bill, Madam Chair, because a while ago we were misinterpreted the provision of the bill. As it was mentioned in the section 2, Madam Chair, wherein the Department of Health shall immediately include in the program of the Department of Health the implementation of this act. So we interpreted this,
Sir
Madam
Rod,
Chair.
this is regarding which bill?
House Bill 4046, Madam Chair, on the Bislig.
Our problem is the author is not around. But at least can you cite the position?
Okay, Madam Chair. We will, Madam Chair. So, may I proceed, Madam Chair?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, Bislig District Hospital is a level 1 hospital with an authorized bed capacity of 50 beds under the administrative control and supervision of the local government unit. It has an average bed occupancy rate of 148% based on its 2-year hospital statistical report. And computing the appropriate bed capacity of the hospital using the 80 to 85% measure for efficiency, the appropriate required bed capacity for the facility is 87. The average number of outpatient visits for the same period is 14,624. In consideration with this, Madam Chair, we recommend the increase in the bed capacity of the hospital from 50 to 200, but it should be consistent with the hospital development plan. And we also no object in case the author wishes to renationalize the facility, provided that the criteria are met, Madam Chair. With this suggestion, Madam Chair, the recommendations shall complement the implementation of the UHC as aligned with the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan. Respectfully submitted, Madam Chair, and we will request further, Madam Chair, if we could be informed the proper intent of this measure, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Sir Rod. May I hear? Yes, from the Department of Health, Caraga. Short manifestation, sir, in the interest of time. Sir, you're on mute. Paki-unmute po.
Okay. Okay po. This is Dr. Jose Lacuna Jr. of CHD Caraga. And the CHD Caraga actually strongly endorses and offers no objection to the creation of the Bislig District Hospital into Bislig City Medical Center. And we are in concurrence with the central office that instead of 500, from 50, it will be 200 bed because it serves the southern portion of Surigao del Sur, serving the municipalities around it with a population of about 300,000. Thank you po.
Thank you, RD. May we hear a motion? For
Madam Chair.
Chair.
Yes, Kongging.
Yes, I move to approve House Bill number 4046 by DS John.
Second.
There's a motion to approve House Bill number 4046, subject to style and amendment. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. We'll now proceed to House Bill number 4142 by Representative Edgar Chatto, entitled An Act Increasing the Bed Capacity of Congressman Natalio P. Castillo Senior Memorial Hospital, or CNCMH in the municipality of Luon, provincial of Bohol from 25 to 100 beds, upgrading its professional healthcare services and facilities, authorizing the increase in its medical personnel, amending for the purpose of RA 6781, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. I think we have Representative Chatto.
Thank you
Edgar.
very much. Yes, thank you very much, Madam
Sure.
Chair, and to our dear colleagues, as well as to the resource persons. Right now, as we speak, I am at the municipality of Luon, also with the municipal mayor, and inspecting the ongoing reconstruction and rehabilitation of the hospital, which was damaged in the 7.2 magnitude earthquake at the time when I was still governor. And the bill, Madam Chair, was also filed earlier on in the previous Congress by my predecessor, Congressman Rene Relampagos, and I am refiling this bill, which seeks to amend Republic Act 6781 to upgrade the Congressman Natalio P. Castillo Senior Memorial Hospital. It's located again in the said town of Luon, increasing its bed capacity from 25 to 100. The town of Luon is strategically located in the center of the 1st District, and the hospital, the district hospital, services Luon and the nearby municipalities. It serves as a major health service provider in the said district, and it also complements well with the Galliares Hospital, which is several kilometers away in Tagbilaran City. The intention of this bill, Madam Chair, is also to be more prepared in the delivery of healthcare, and also the health system should be strengthened as we face challenges also in the next few years. We face today the challenges of COVID-19, but we expect also even more challenges in healthcare in the years to come. The present 25-bed capacity hospital is not enough. And definitely, our statistics also would show the increase in admissions to the said hospital. So with the full restoration now of the hospital in a new place, practically a new construction, it augurs well by increasing also its bed capacity. Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and I look forward to the approval of this measure.
Thank you, Kong Chatto. Sir Rod Napulan from the DOH.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, Congressman Natalio P. Castillo Sr. Memorial Hospital is currently an infirmary with an authorized bed capacity of 25 beds and under the administrative control and supervision of the provincial local government unit. The hospital has an average bed occupancy rate of 67% based on its 2-year annual hospital statistical report. This shows that the hospital's full resources remain unutilized. Using the BUR of 80 to 85% as the indicator for the efficient utilization of resources of the hospital, the occupancy rate for the past 2 years, the appropriate estimated bed capacity is around 20 beds. Its 2-year inpatient data showed an increase from 2,242 to 2,325, with an average of 2,284 patients. Meanwhile, the average number of outpatient visits for the same period is 8,034. In consideration of the foregoing, we also look into, Madam Chair, the development of the facilities na kung ma-improve natin yung facility, the capacity or the number of inpatients might be blow up and would serve more population. With this, Madam Chair, we recommend further to improve the hospital services consistent to each hospital development plan and further refine the bill
yung batas mo, ha? Wala ka.
Revisions for consideration.
Yung bill mo sa Department of Health.
The authorized bed capacity of the CNCMCH is hereby increased from 25 beds to 100 beds. The incremental increases in the bed capacity with the commensurate upgrades in the facilities, service capabilities, and professional health care shall be in accordance to each hospital development plan as approved by the Department of Health. Section 3, the Department of Health, Department of Budget and Management, and Civil Service Commission shall provide technical assistance to the CNCMH in determining the number of additional plantilla positions to be created pursuant to this act. And Section 5, the CNCMH, in coordination with the concerned local government officials and assistance of the Department of Health, shall promulgate the necessary implementing rules and regulations for the effective implementation of this act within the 60 days from its effectivity. And we are reiterating, Madam Chair, that the operations of the facility still under the local government unit. And then the capital outlay requirements will be supported by the Department of Health through the Health Facilities Enhancement Program. With these recommendations, the House Bill number 4142 shall contribute to the implementation of the UHC to the benefit of the catchment population and healthcare provider network therein, as aligned with the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan 2020 to 2040. Respectfully submitted, Madam Chair, and will provide the signed position paper once available. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Kong Chatto, do you want to respond pa or we can approve it?
Yes, just one additional point. Thank you very much for the comments and recommendations of the DOH. Just to highlight, the statistics that were indicated earlier reflected also the effects of the 7.2 magnitude earthquake to the capacity of the hospital. But let me emphasize again that this hospital is now being moved to a newly reconstructed hospital with designed already for a 100-bed capacity. And also, the upgrading of the said hospital will be a primary responsibility of the provincial government with the support of the Department of Health. As I also mentioned earlier, I was then Governor of Bohol when the first bill was filed by the previous congressman, and I am reiterating our interest to have this hospital upgraded so that it can be ready for more patients in the next years to come. Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to the DOH.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Kong Ruth.
Madam Chair.
Representative Alexi, Vice Chair.
Yes, with the consideration of my colleague in this province of Bohol, Congressman Chatto, I move for the approval of House Bill 4142. Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. There's a motion to approve House Bill number 4142. Can I hear a second?
Second.
Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Before we proceed on items number 14 to 19, I'd like to turn over the chairmanship if it's okay with my best friend. Hindi ako pinapansin eh.
Sure.
To chair the continuation of the proceedings as I have to leave for an important meeting.
Pasalubong.
Yes, thank you so much, guys, especially Sir Rod Napulan, for always being with us, and to all our resource persons and authors and members. Representative King Swansing will now chair the hearing. Thank you, sis.
Thank you. Ingat ka kung ano man yan. Kasama mo ako dyan. Good afternoon, everyone. So, Sir Rod, approve na natin to lahat, ha? Wala si Chair, eh. Okay, now we will move to House Bill number 151, an act by Representative Teddy Haresco Jr., an act to establish 25-bed capacity emergency hospital in Boracay Island, Province of Aklan, to be known as Boracay Emergency Hospital, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. May I recognize Congressman Ted Haresco? Your time, sir. Nakamute po kayo, sir.
Thank you, Chairman, our beautiful chairperson. Chairman, sa Boracay po, tumawag po sa akin kanina si Governor Miraflores and he wanted to move it from Boracay to the mainland, which is under the town of Malay, because the provincial government was able to purchase 1 hectare property for this emergency hospital. We are the only province, Madam Chair, to have 2 international airports. And we hope to put the facility beside our international airport to better serve our tourists and parts of the towns of Antique. No, Madam Chair, I hope that the 34,000 patients who go to our provincial hospital with the establishment of the Malay Emergency Hospital, Madam Chair, ma-distribute po yan throughout the Western District of Aklan. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Sir Ted Haresco. Sir Rod Napulan.
Chair, maybe also recommend Madam Chair the page of the Aklan, Madam Chair, where we can provide our technical review, Madam Chair. I would like to take this opportunity, Madam Chair, to ask Mr. Rod of DOH, who told you to nationalize our hospital? Madam Chair, Congressman Haresco would like to also to clarify, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, that in the section 3 of the bill on the proposed measure, Madam Chair, we interpreted it as the Department of Health shall operate the facility, since the Secretary of Health shall include in the General Appropriations Act the operations as well as the personnel, Madam Chair. So with
Yes,
this consideration, Kong, that's why we interpreted it as a renationalized. Nonetheless, Kong, we support for the upgrading as well as the improvement of the facility in the Western Aklan General Hospital. Yes, we baka miss technical error lang ng staff ko, but we don't wish to have it nationalized, Mr. Rod.
Okay. Okay. So, Sir Rod, please take note on that. So, any
Our provincial officials are beside me, the head of engineering and the head of the provincial hospital, Madam Chair.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Leslie from the Provincial Health Office. So with regards to the bill to upgrade the Seyaco, and as what Tom said mentioned, and their agreements between COMFED and Governor A.Suarez to move it to Malay, because
Dr. Leslie, naka-mute po kayo.
Okay. Mute ko lang po. Okay. So I fully support the House Bill of COMTED to move the upgrade of the Malay Municipal Hospital, because throughout the years from 2015 to 2019, the bed occupancy rate of Malay Municipal Hospital has been increasing. Currently, it's already at 150% occupancy rate. And it's just a 10-bed hospital. And knowing that Malay is a growing community, its population is increasing, plus we have the airport also in Malay, it is deemed necessary to upgrade this facility. And thus, the intervention of the provincial government is to procure a lot already based in Malay also. So it's a 1-hectare lot, and we are proposing to increase the bed occupancy of Malay from 10 to 50 and eventually to increase it further. And from an infirmary to a level 1 facility so that we can cater more Aklanons and decongest our provincial hospital as what CONCTED has mentioned earlier. So us in the Provincial Health Office and in the PEO fully support this House Bill of CONCTED. Haresco.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Leslie. Yes, Sir Rod, it's your time.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon and good noon for all. I would like to clarify, Madam Chair, the intent of the bill, because as we read the House Bill number 4151, the need establishment of 25-bed capacity emergency hospital in Boracay Island, Malay, province of Aklan, to be known as Boracay Emergency Hospital. So with this, Madam Chair, would like to clarify with the author if you're going to establish another hospital inside the island of Boracay.
No, it is in the mainland because the hospital, the emergency hospital, the Don Ciriaco Tirol Hospital, there is no more space in the Don Ciriaco. So we are moving it in the mainland beside our international airport. So it's more accessible by land.
Tama po ba sa understanding ko, sir, na yung Malay Municipal Hospital will be improved and then transferred to another facility and then will be called
Yes.
a emergency hospital? Am I
Yes,
right?
yes, Mr. Rod, it will be relocated and improved.
With this, Madam Chair, we fully support with the intent as well as the proposal of Haresco, provided that the operations and management will still under the province, and then the capital outlay requirements of the hospital shall be supported by the Department of Health through the Health Facility Enhancement Program as aligned with the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan in complementation to the implementation of the Universal Healthcare Act.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Akong Joet.
Yes. Yes, Madam Chair. I move to approve House Bill number 4145, authored by the Honorable Ted Haresco Jr. So moved, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Com. Thank you.
Any second?
I second, Madam Chair.
It has been moved and seconded for the approval of House Bill number 4151. Any objection? There being none, then the motion is approved. Thank you very much, Kong Ted.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. Thank you, Guapa.
Thank you, Dr. Leslie. Thank you very much. Now, let's move to House Bill number 4213 and Alfred Vargas, entitled An Act Providing for the Construction of a Super Health Center and Lying-in Clinic in Barangay Novaliches proper, Quezon City, and appropriating funds therefore. Is Representative Alfred Vargas here? Sige, unahin muna natin yung nandito, no? Let's move to House Bill number 4234 by Representative Joseph Santonino Bernos. Is Congressman Bernos around? Okay, so let's move to House Bill number 4290. I see Representative Pablo Ortega. The bill is entitled An Act Increasing the Bed Capacity of Ilocos Training and Regional Medical Center from 300 to 800 and appropriating funds therefore. Tito Pablo, yes, Representative Pablo Ortega is now recognized. Your times.
Naka-switch. Akin na. Thank you, Madam Chair, for giving me the chance to deliberate House Bill number 4290, which seeks to increase the bed capacity of the Ilocos Training and Regional Medical Center from 300 to 800 to be implemented for a period of 4 years. In addition to the explanatory note of this House Bill 4290, I would like to emphasize on the following. The ITRMC is considered the apex hospital of La Union province-wide network and positioned to be a people-centered and referral trauma and multi-specialty center in the Ilocos region by 2022. Apart from the provinces of La Union and the city of San Fernando, the hospital's catchment area include Southern Ilocos Sur, Vigan City, Candon City, Northeastern Pangasinan, Abra, and Benguet. Apart from the province of La Union, for the past 5 years, 2015 to 2019, the bed capacity rate continues to increase with an average increase of 11% and exceeded the standard occupancy rate, which is 85% for the last 4 years. The ITRMC Hospital Development Plan 2020 to 2024 is within the framework of the Department of Health's Hospital Development Plan in support to make Filipinos among the healthiest in Southeast Asia by 2022 and in Asia by 2040. During this time of the COVID pandemic, the ITRMC heeded to the call for solidarity, compassion, and culture of caring. The first functional molecular laboratory in Region 1 was established at ITRMC in less than a month. The service was made available and has expanded its operations from an average of 50 specimens per day to 800 specimens per day. To date, the hospital has obtained both RT-PCR and Gene Expert COVID testing license to operate. Also, the first recorded plasma therapy in the region was made possible through the efforts of the hospital's specialty services in tandem with the other Manila centers. Evidently, the ITRMC's strong desire for innovations and further development and to continue to provide with excellent patient care and service necessitates the expansion of the hospital from 300 bed capacity to 800 bed capacity over a period of 4 years. With this, I pray for the approval of the bill, Madam Chair, and thank you. And Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask the committee that my explanatory note will serve as my sponsorship for the bill, for House Bill 4290. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Representative Pablo Ortega. Now may I hear from the Chief of the Medical Center, Dr. Eduardo Badua III.
Good morning, Honorable Chair, and to the member of the August body. The Ilocos Training and Regional Medical Center prays for the approval of House Bill 4290 for us to meet the needs of the people of La Union and the neighboring areas, and for ITRMC to be able to respond as an apex hospital and specialty hospital according and in accordance with the DOH Hospital Development Plan and in consonance and accordance with the DOH Universal Healthcare. We have been increasing our capacity, and we are already pushed to the limit of 300 beds. And at the average, we have about more than 400 patients a day in our hospital. And thus we pray for the approval for the first reading, the approval of House Bill 4290. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Magandang nanghali po sa ating lahat.
Thank you very much, Doc Badua. May I call on Sir Rod?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We fully support the passage of the House Bill number 4290 as authored by Representative Pablo C. Ortega. And we would like also, Madam Chair, to just to reiterate our position to include the hospital development plan in section 1, such that the authorized bed capacity of Ilocos Training in Regional Medical Center in San Fernando, La Union is hereby increased from 300 beds to 800 beds. The Secretary of Health shall implement the increase in bed capacity of the IIT-RMC consistent with the development plan of the hospital, and to include additional section such that the hospital development plan, the medical center chief of the hospital shall develop a hospital development plan to be submitted to the Department of Health to reflect the developmental goals of the hospital, consistent with increase in the bed capacity as provided in section 1 thereof. The request for staffing requirements, capital outlay investments, and budgetary needs for operations shall be based on the hospital development plan. So we recognize the need for this bill, Madam Chair, and we fully support for this, and we will submit the signed position paper once available. Respectfully submitted, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Sir Rod. Since this interposes no objection, may I request Representative Sandra Erigel for a motion?
Madam Chair, with the full support of DOH, I move to approve House Bill 4290, subject to style and amendment. And I further move that all the members present be made co-authors of this bill. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Second, Madam Chair.
For the approval of 90. Any objection? Subject to amendments and style. Any objection? There being none, then the motion is approved. Congratulations, Representative Pablo Ortega.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you very much. Miss you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Okay, so now let's move to Garcia III. Representative Enrique Joet Garcia III, entitled An Act Establishing a 50-bed Capacity District Hospital in the Municipality of Limay, Province of Bataan, to be known as the Limay District Hospital, and appropriating funds therefore. May I recognize Congressman Joet Garcia? Your time, sir.
Thank you to the Honorable Chairperson Ging, our colleagues, resource persons, good afternoon. My initiative to establish a 50-bed district hospital in the municipality of Limay is in response to the clamor of my constituents for the government to put up a medical facility that could cater to the medical needs of both residents and those of nearby municipalities. The municipality of Limay does not have any hospital. Its population of more than 70,000 rely on the Bataan General and Medical Center, located in Balanga City, for medical services. With a population of the entire province of more than 820,000, mainly looking up to the Bataan General Hospital for their medical needs, additional hospital beds ought to be provided. Considering the continuing community infection of the dreaded COVID-19, and without an effective antidote that is forthcoming, the need for establishing the district hospital could not be more urgent. The immediate approval, Madam Chair, of the measure by this honorable committee is therefore earnestly requested. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Congressman Joel. May I call on the Mayor of Limay, Honorable Mayor Nelson David.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Dr. Alfonso Reyes, please proceed.
Yes. I was instructed by Mayor Nelson David to represent this teleconference, and we are really in dire need to have this district hospital to decongest the ever-growing patients that we have at the Limay Community Health Center. So we really need this district hospital. I hope that you guys will approve and approve the establishment of this 50-bed capacity and appropriate funds therefore. So that's really all I have to say.
Thank you, Dr. Reyes. May I give the floor to RD Dr. Cashon of the Region 3.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, and thank you for this opportunity to state our position of this House Bill 7122, authored by Congressman Joet Garcia. We are strongly in support of this House Bill, primarily because of there is still an unmet need for the primary catchment area, and as mentioned, there is no existing licensed hospital in Limay and in the neighboring 2 provinces. So the House Bill is favorable for the constituents of Bataan. Thank you po, Madam Chair.
Thank you, RD Cashon. May I now hear the position of DOH, Sir Rod?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the province of Bataan comprises of 11 municipalities in 1 component city. It has an estimated bed to population ratio of 1:1,129, based on its 2022 projected population of 862,253, as compared to national average set standard of 1:1,000 beds. Based on the DOH online statistical report system, there are 12 licensed hospitals in the Bataan, 8 are privately owned, 2 are run by the local government units, and 2 are DOH retained. In addition, there are 2 infirmaries in the province. In consideration of the foregoing, the Bureau interposes no objection to the proposed establishment of a 50-bed capacity hospital in Limay, Bataan, provided that the criteria are met, such as certificate of need obtained from DOH Center for Health Development, feasibility study undertaken, that includes healthcare needs analysis, health resource analysis, benchmarking, as well as investment planning and monitoring evaluation. And lastly, integrity and safety of the hospital facilities, even during disasters and emergencies, is ensured. And we would like to clarify further, Madam Chair, to the proposed intent of the measure, if this is under the Department of Health or under the local government unit. Because currently, there are 2 DOH hospitals, the Bataan General Hospital and Medical Center, that serving the end referral DOH hospitals in the network, as well as the current upgrading of Mariveles Mental Wellness and General Hospital. So if it is a small hospital, it is more deemed appropriate for a proposed hospital to fall under the supervision and control of the local government unit, while the DOH shall provide necessary capital outlay funding support through the Health Facilities Enhancement Program. With these recommendations, it shall complement the Universal Health Care Act aligned with the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan. So respectfully submitted, Madam Chair, and we will provide the signed position paper once available. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Sir Rod. Joet?
Yeah, Madam Chair, the intent of my intent is this to be under the Department of Health, given that the local government units are also managing several other health facilities in the province. Yung na-mention din ni Sir Rod kanina about the Mariveles Mental Wellness, actually it's in the municipality of Mariveles, which has a population of 140,000. So lahat po yun, Madam Chair, meron pong catchment area na kinakailangan po iserve.
Okay, so thank you very much. Congresswoman Fernandez, are you still there? Can I solicit a motion for the approval?
Madam Chair, I move to approve House Bill number 7122, subject to style and amendments. I so move, Madam Chair.
Any
second? Second.
There is a motion duly seconded for the approval of House Bill number 7122, provided that the requirements and criteria set by DOH is complied and subject to style and amendments. Any objection? There being none, then the motion is approved. Congratulations, Kong Joet.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Kong Sandra. Madam Chair, nawawala yung audio nyo.
Can you take over? I
Yes.
have bill pala with aquaculture. So
Sorry, Madam Chair, nawawala yung audio.
hello? Yes?
Yes, yan meron.
Can you take over?
Which bill will we ang next natin?
House Bill 7444 by Kong E.Yap, and we'll go back to House Bill number 4234 by Congressman Bernos and House Bill 4213 by Kong Alfred Vargas.
Okay.
Very much. Thank you. Congratulations to everyone. Sorry, I have a bill.
Thank you. So let's go back to sige, siguro number 19, House Bill number 7444. Is Chair E.Yap present? Parang wala yata si Kong Chair Eric. Can our
Mr.
colleague
Chair,
sponsor?
Mr.
Yes,
Chair.
Representative Taduran.
Yeah. Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon. In behalf of Kong E.Yap, I will, I have the honor to sponsor the House Bill number 7444, an act providing for the establishment of a district hospital in Iriga City, Camarines Sur, and appropriating funds therefore. And this is filed by our colleague, Honorable Eric E.Yap, co-authored by Congresswoman Jocelyn Tulfo and yours truly. The 5th Congressional District of Camarines Sur, more popularly known as the Rinconada District, Polities of Baao, Bula, Balatan, Buhi, Bato, Nabua, and Iriga City, has several hospitals, almost all of which are privately owned. And in Iriga City, the only government hospital is the Iriga Maternity Hospital, Periculture and Family Planning Center. For so long, at time, people from Rinconada have been forced to avail of the services of private hospitals for their medical needs. In many cases, they still have to go to hospitals in Naga City, in the province of Albay, or in Metro Manila, because the hospitals in Rinconada do not have the necessary medical equipment. Patients who cannot afford to pay do not have a choice but to go to public hospitals in Naga City and Legazpi City. Our people in Rinconada are in dire need of quality, affordable, and accessible public hospital staffed by competent medical personnel and equipped with modern facilities so that their medical needs can be immediately and properly addressed. If enacted into law, this bill will help ease the overcrowding of hospitals in or near the Rinconada area. Sick people, especially the financially challenged, need not be brought to far and expensive hospitals. Most importantly, the health of the people of Rinconada will be efficiently attended to. Iriga City is a composite city, and for the longest time, no sufficient medical facility can address the medical and health needs of its residents. I strongly believe that through this bill and with the imminent support of this committee, the plights of my fellow Irigeños and the entire Rinconada residents will be given full realization. To this end, the passage of this bill is earnestly sought. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair, at sa aking esteemed colleagues and mga resource persons. At magandang hapon po.
Thank you, Representative Taduran. Do we have local officials or the regional office here to comment before I call on Sir Rod? So kung wala, yes, Sir Rod?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the Department of Health, through the Health Facility Development Bureau, launched the introduction of House Bill number 7444, an act providing for establishment of a district hospital in Riga City, Camarines Sur, and appropriating funds therefore, introduced and authored by Eric Goyap, Rowena Nina Taduran, and Representative Jocelyn Puwatulfo of ACT-CIS Party List. The province of Camarines Sur comprises of 2 cities and 35 municipalities. It has an estimated bed to population ratio of 1:1,262 based on its 2022 projected population of 2,095,990, as compared to the national standard of 1:1,000 beds to population ratio. Based on the DOH online health facility statistical report system, there are 16 licensed hospitals in Camarines Sur. 12 are privately owned, 2 are run by the local government units, and another 2 are DOH retained hospital. In consideration of the foregoing, the Health Facility Development Bureau interposes no objection to the proposed establishment of the hospital in Riga City, Camarines Sur, provided that the following criteria are met. There is an unmet need for the hospital beds in the area, the DOH recommendation of 1 hospital bed for every 1,000 population. Second, a certificate of need is obtained from the Department of Health Center for Health Development, BICOL, to ensure compliance to the set criteria such as bed to population ratio, travel time, accessibility, integration with the local hospital development plan, and track record. A feasibility study is undertaken, which includes healthcare needs analysis, health resource analysis, benchmarking against DOH standards, investment planning, stakeholder mobilization, and planning for monitoring and evaluation. And lastly, the integrity and safety of hospital facilities, even during disaster and emergencies, is ensured. The bill also proposes that the hospital to be established shall be under the supervision of the Department of Health. However, we need also to consider the role in the healthcare delivery and with Bicol Medical Center serving as the end referral DOH hospital in the network, as well as the current upgrading of the Bicol Region General Hospital and Geriatric Medical Center. So it is deemed to be more appropriate for the proposed hospital to fall under the direct administrative control and supervision of the LGU, with the DOH providing the necessary capital outlay funding support from the Health Facilities Enhancement Program. Moreover, the bed capacity of the proposed hospital recommended to be 100 beds instead of 199, considering the availability of DOH standards for 100-bed capacity hospital. The foregoing recommendations shall complement the implementation of the UHC aligned with the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan. So we'll submit, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, our position paper signed by Secretary of Health once available. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And
thank you, Sir Rod. Kong Nina, may comment kayo dun sa mga binanggit ni Sir Rod?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I believe that can we ask Sir Rod if they can consider that the Iriga District Hospital be under the management of the Department of Health instead of the LGU in Iriga City, Mr. Chair?
Yes, yes, Sir Rod.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sir Rod?
Yes, we the regions full support for the renationalization, provided that we comply with the requirements, Mr. Chair and Kong Taduran.
Okay. So okay naman, Kong Nina?
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. And right now, we already have a lot for the for that particular district hospital, which will be in a form of deed of donation by the barangay in Santa Teresita, Iriga City. So we already have a place that we can build or put the Iriga City District Hospital. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Since the issues have been settled, may we hear a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Kong Sandra.
I move to approve House Bill number 7444, subject to compliance with the DOH requirements and subject to style and amendments. I so move, Mr. Chair.
So there's a motion to approve House Bill number 744. Is there any second?
I second the motion.
Duly
Mr.
seconded.
Chair.
Duly seconded. Any objection? Since there's no objection, the motion is approved. Approval, which is approval of House Bill number 7444. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. John Garcia, thank you.
Thank you.
And to
Kung
my
Ninya, diyan ka lang ha.
colleagues, esteemed colleague.
Diyan ka lang muna kung Ninya, baka we need you para dito sa final two bills also. Next would be House Bill number 4234. Is Representative J.B. Bernos here already in our meeting? So kung wala, may we ask, yes, Kong Sandra.
Yeah. In behalf of Representative Joseph Santonino Bernos, I'd like to sponsor House Bill number 4234 entitled An Act Converting the La Paz District Hospital in the Municipality of La Paz, Province of Abra, into a general hospital under the full authority and technical supervision of the Department of Health, to be known as the La Paz General Hospital, increasing its bed capacity from 25 to 100 beds and appropriating funds therefore. Mr. Chair, let the explanatory note be recorded as the sponsorship speech. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Kong Sandra. May we hear comments from Sir Rod?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Abra is located near the northern edges of the Cordilleras and is considered a province-sized, geographically isolated and disadvantaged area. For a population of 241,160, there are 265 authorized beds for inpatient care spread among 3 Level 1 hospitals and 7 infirmary facilities. The bed-to-population ratio is 1 bed for every 910 of the population. But the effort and time for transiting between facilities may be less desirable. In consideration above, we interposes no objection to the proposed renationalization of the facility, provided that the criteria are met, such as express intent of the local government unit to give up its authority over the particular health facility, including its assets like human resources, buildings, grounds, and records, as well as equipment to the national government, addressed to the Secretary of Health, course through the Center for Health Development. Second, sangguniang resolution justifying and explaining details of transfer of authority, and with supporting resolutions from the Local Health Board and Local Development Council. And lastly, information on the health facilities condition, situation analysis of the catchment area, financial and other records showing difficulty in providing resources and records of interventions, strategies, and activities the LGU had undertaken. And moreover, along with the above, additional provision is recommended as follows. The Department of Health, the Department of Budget and Management, in consultation with the Department of Health, Provincial Government of Abra, and other concerned agencies, shall determine the cost of renationalized functions relative to the operations of La Paz General Hospital from its current internal revenue allotment, which shall also be returned to the Department of Health regular appropriations. Finally, the following is recommended for the provision under Section 2. The increases in bed capacity with the commensurate upgrades in facilities, service capabilities, professional healthcare services shall be in accordance to each hospital development plan as approved by the Department of Health. With these recommendations, Mr. Chair, the House Bill number 4234 shall contribute to the implementation of the UHC to the benefit of the catchment population and the healthcare provider network therein, as also aligned with the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan. Respectfully submitted, Mr. Chair, and we will submit the signed position paper once available. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Sir Rod. Meron po ba tayong mga resource person from the local DOH or local government for House Bill 4234? Na gusto mag-comment? So if there's none, siguro Sir Rod, with regards to yung mga proposed amendments, number one, yung for the ERA, like what si Kong Rinpi said, Kong Suarez said earlier, I think yung intention talaga is for this hospital to be under DOH. I'm sure the all local government units, if capable, they will help in the operation of any DOH hospital. So I think kahit na hindi natin ilagay yun, we will be able to get support from the local government unit. So baka mas, I'm sure coming from the authors also, as earlier mentioned, their intention is really for this to be under DOH. So with that, anyway, generally, in support naman ng DOH, may we hear a motion? Kong Nina? Kong Nina? Kong Nina, may...
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Motion for approval of House Bill number 4234.
Mr. Chair.
Motion for approval. Can you make a motion to approve House Bill number 4234, authored by Representative J.B. Bernos?
So, Mr. Chair, I move for the approval of the House Bill number, is that 4234?
Yes.
Subject to style. So move, Mr. Chair.
Any second?
Second.
Okay, so it has been moved, duly seconded for the House Bill number 4234. Hearing any objection? So hearing no objection, House Bill 4234 is thereby approved. And lastly, if I'm not mistaken, let's proceed to House Bill number 4213, authored by Representative Alfred Vargas. I'm not sure if Representative Vargas is here. So Representative Sandra.
Yes, Mr. Chair. In behalf of Representative Alfred Vargas, I am honored to sponsor House Bill number 4213, entitled An Act Providing for the Construction of a Super Health Center and Lying-in Clinic in Barangay Novaliches proper, Quezon City, and appropriating funds therefore. Let the explanatory note be recorded as the sponsorship speech. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Kong Sandra. Do we have comments from the local government or the local DOH? So kung wala, Sir Rod, sa inyo rin ba to, Sir Rod?
Yes, Mr. Chair. At least last na po ito, Mr. Chair. Hopefully, wala na pong ihabang for the other matters. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, in cognizance, Mr. Chair, the Department of Health through the Health Facility Development Bureau recommends the government of Quezon City to take upon the necessary local legislative measure as mandated by the local government code in relation to the provision of basic health services to families and communities. In the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan, which is being updated to align with the implementation of the UHC, it is noted that Quezon City is one of the highly urbanized cities that has the capacity to ensure the timely delivery of primary care to its constituency. The city is challenged through with a sizable gap to close on primary care facilities within easy distance of barangays and villages such as those in the 5th district. So with this, Mr. Chair, since ang mandate po kasi ng facility na pinopropose is more of primary care, so we have a reservation on this. Instead of for the Department of Health to manage this facility, we are proposing that this would be under the local government unit of Quezon City. And then the capital outlay, if necessary and needed, we can support from the Health Facilities Enhancement Program, provided that it's aligned with the Philippine Health Facility Development Plan. So we will submit, Mr. Chair, our signed position paper once available. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Sir Rod. Wala si Representative Vargas kasi no, to answer your comments. But siguro, just the same, if we may hear a motion to approve subject to style na pwede po pag-usapan ng author with the DOH.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, I move for the approval of House Bill number 4213, subject to style. I so move, Mr. Chair.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So there's a motion to approve House Bill number 4213, duly seconded. Is there any objection? So hearing none, motion is approved. So sunod po, other matters. Wala naman sigurong other matters. Anybody, any colleagues of ours who want to take up other matters? So kung wala, alam po gutom na tayong lahat. Motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Representative Sandra. Thank you, Representative Nina. So there's a motion to adjourn. Thank you very much to all our colleagues, especially Representative Sandra, Representative Nina, to all our resource persons. So mag-ingat po lahat. Pwede na tayo mag-lunch. Maraming salamat po. Committee meeting is adjourned.